All right, everybody. Friday on the iNetwork. Silly Shill Show time with us, the Shills. We've got some great guests and we got some fantastic stupid to tackle as we look at sovereign citizens. Are these dumb fucks really that stupid? We're gonna find out. We've got a YouTube video from Best Vids on the Internet. Sovereign citizens getting owned by police. We got Wachachi running free with Sovereign, a word to fear. Mr. White, Sovereign Citizen X Uncut, and the channel Sovereign Citizen itself with Sovereign Citizen Goes In, where I'm scared to ask. So let me see who's at the table tonight and who's joined us. We go around the table and we see Kevin Kennedy. How's it going, buddy? What is happening in your world?
Hello, freak bitches. I am super stoked to watch some people get arrested today.
Oh yeah, man, these guys are awesome fun. This should be great.
Mm-hmm. And I would just like everyone to know that when moving around in a floating head, you are categorically not driving, you are traveling.
Good point to make on this evening. So what's up in your corner of YouTube these days?
Not a whole lot. Been working through the history of the space shuttle series. That's been going well. And I'm trying to think if I have anything else big planned. Well, I have a couple videos planned, but I don't really have too much to say about them. But stuff is coming. That's all I have to say.
Excellent. Holding pattern, but we know it'll be good. Right on. Let's go back in time and check in with Cave Town. Logical Troglodyte. What's happening in your world?
Well, you know, Babes is a little irritated with me today. I spent all day on Twitter yesterday poking idiots with sharp things, and it dulled all my spear points. So instead of going on the hunt today for the Browno burgers and mammoth steaks, I had to re-nap all of my spear points. And she's like, "Come on, goddammit, I want to eat." Then when we were watching a movie, she decided to try to grab my remote, and I tried to pull a sovereign citizen on her and try to tell her that, no, I'm a sovereign citizen, goddammit, and that's my scepter. You cannot have the king's scepter. And she grabbed it away from me, beat me over the head with it, and changed the channels over to Love Story or something. I don't fucking know. It got really ugly really quick.
It sounds like I'm glad I didn't pop in for a visit earlier, buddy. Wow. You lead a busy life, but it's an entertaining one. I know it. Right on, man. How's the Sarcastic Barman today? What's happening in the pub today? Uh-oh.
Oh, the pub is going crazy. Everyone are nutters. You're saying that as if I'm muted. What? No, what?
Oh, I think we might have massive delay because my...
Oh, am I delaying like mad? I'll give us 5 minutes. I'll reset. Come back to me.
Okay, yeah, cool. Perfect. We will do that. And we will go up and see what... who should we go? What about Boole? How's it going, buddy? What's happening in your world?
Oh, not a lot. I'm actually pretty excited about this weekend. We got the Silly Shills tonight and tomorrow, and of course the Uncalled For on Sunday. And I'm not exactly sure what's going to be happening, but maybe Aimee can fill us in. Speaking of Aimee.
Excellent call, buddy. Aimee Hogan, how is your world of YouTube greatness today?
Oh, it's awesome. I've been digging into some of these Sobsit videos, and oh my gosh, they're just as silly as Flat Earth. I love it. So we've been having a lot of fun with that. And we've got 3 super chats to go through too, if I may, real quick before I finish.
Yeah, let's catch up.
Yes, please. The first from Ilya Moon for $2 American. She says, "There in spirit. Thank you so much, hon. We love you so much." And then we had, thank you. And we had $5 American from Bad Trip, says, "Showing my love. Thank you so much, Bad Trip. We love you too." And then Digital Demonic Davros for $2 Australian. He says, "I do not consent to not being on the show. Hi, Dick." Good
one, Davros. How you doing, brother?
I just want to point out Bad Trip's super chat at the end included a heart box of chocolates and a finger going into the okay hand sign.
Cool.
That's right. And I'm sorry, I
That's
just
too
wanted
much.
to finish real quick.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone in the chat for coming today. And thank you so much for your support. We thank you so much. And thank you to BM Furball and Zpostate both for coming on tonight. Thank you so much.
Good shouts. Good shouts. Speaking of which, let's check in with Zpostate. How's it going in your corner of YouTube, man? Good to see you back on the show.
Hey, it's good to be back on, but I have one question, Dick. Am I being detained or am I free to go?
We will let you know
am I being
as
detained?
the show progresses.
Am I being detained?
Yeah, I
Don't
think
tase me,
you
bro.
are at this point. Yeah. It starts now.
We consider yourself detained.
Yeah. No, we figured some sovereign citizen stuff would be right up your alley. So give us a little hint what you've been up to on YouTube here recently. What's coming? What you've been doing?
Oh, I've been doing a whole heck of a lot of nothing because life is crazy, but I will be getting back to it very, very soon with some good, sovereign citizen type, Christian nationalist type cool stuff. So keep an eye.
Excellent. Right on. And welcome back to the show again. We've got BM Furball. How you doing, buddy? What's happening in your world?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. Life is just getting in the way of everything. So with, the virus and everything, all that's crazy in the world. But I figured with any group of sovereign citizens such as this, every group needs their undercover federal agent. So I'm here. Pay no attention to me. I'm just taking notes.
Right on. Yeah, it's gonna.
Can
be
you get
good
a little
have
closer
you
to the
for
microphone?
these.
Can you get a little closer?
Yeah.
Sorry. Say that again.
This is going to be good because we got the right team for this topic. Absolutely. So before we dive in, some of us have experience with these sovereign citizen guys. Anybody got a good tale they want to share before we start? Because I know there's some good ones. Holy. I mean, let's face it. Nathan's acting like a sovereign citizen with this whole children flat smacking thing pretty much right there.
Well, if I may, so I live with my uncle. And I think I'm safe to say this right now. I don't think he can hear me from here, but he believes this SovCit stuff like completely, and he's laid out the whole crazy fictional landscape for me. And what I know is they seem to think that the law is intertwined with the Navy somehow, but they can't really prove it. That driving is different than traveling. And I think that's about all I know.
Driving is different than traveling.
Yeah. They think driving refers only to commercial transportation. So if you're in a car and you're not engaging in commerce, you're traveling.
That's semantics at its highest level.
It really is. And it's just an excuse to drive without having your driver's license.
Oh,
yeah.
You want semantics? I've got some semantics for you.
Hmm.
So, you know how we always say that every group of people is susceptible to being dumb in other areas that are not their own expertise?
Sure.
The law enforcement is not any exception to that. And I had a former coworker who is a federal agent. And I didn't work with him too much. I just ran into him on the range periodically. And one day he was trying to tell me that there is no law requiring you to pay taxes. And his argument was that under the United States, the tax code is 26 United States code, when all of the criminal codes are 18 United States code. Since it's not under 18, technically there's no law requiring you to pay them.
What?
That's one of those you just walk away because I have a gun in my hand.
Yeah. that reminds me of wasn't there a story a little while ago about how some country briefly made some obscene act legal for 24 hours due to a clerical error?
I had not heard that, but it would be fun.
I can't remember what it was. It was bestiality in some obscure country is suddenly legal for 24 hours because someone forgot to renew some paperwork.
Oh, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But the barman who lives in Welsh, who is a Welshman who's back and joined us, I'm thinking he's probably excited right now.
I'm very excited. If I'm actually in time now.
Yeah,
you are.
Am
I lagging?
Yeah, no, you're in real time. You're not like in Vietnam or some of our other crew. You're back to good.
Yeah, the barman coming to you live from England, where there's no toilet paper and the internet sucks balls. Oh, joys!
There's no toilet paper anywhere.
There is no toilet paper anywhere. It's simply because every time someone coughs, everyone else in the room shits themselves. Like, oh. So yeah, I'm having one of those days. So we don't know what's going to happen in the pub because everyone's worried. No one's going out, so that's fun. I've had a customer in the pub today saying, well, yeah, the coronavirus, that's all the government trying to thin out the population. I'm like, the fuck? I ain't getting into that conversation with you because that's going to end up very abruptly. Fuck my life. And the week of internet is crazy.
Oh.
Well, if you think you got it bad, barman, we don't use toilet paper here in Cave Town. We haven't developed that technology yet. We still use leaves, and the only leaves that are available outside right now are poison ivy.
Oh dear, that's not good. That'd be just as bad as like stinging nettles or something like that. So you need to find yourself a nice big dock leaf. That'd do. Or I don't know. Use your woolly mammoth and just get them to spray water up your ass. That's what the Europeans do.
I'm a fan of pine cones. Pine cones.
Corn cob.
But I have
many options.
we had a couple of messages in the chat there, and we had a couple of people saying, hey, just give a rundown quick on the Zpostate situation, what these guys are all about. And I'm thinking Dead Kennedy in Space should start that off.
Well, I mean, I kind of explained some of it there. They believe that certain laws do not apply to them if they declare themselves to be free people, and it makes it so that they don't belong to the United States, which they think is a corporation and not a country. And they have these weird distinctions, like when your name is written on official documents, it's written in capital letters, and that means that's your corporate name. And there's like a loan taken out in your name from some private bank. And you the actual person is different than that name. And they think that they can drive without a license because they think driving means engaging in commerce on the roads. So if you're driving a car and not engaging in commerce, you're traveling. What else?
And as part of that being that you're traveling rather than driving, you don't have to have a registered vehicle. You don't have to have a license plate. You don't have to have insurance. None of those laws apply.
Right.
Well, and I want to bring up something else. They liken a lot of them try to play the Continental Congress against the current Congress.
That's what
laws.
It is. Yeah.
And they make the distinction that when they came up with the new Constitution, in lieu of the Continental Congress, which was in place at the time, that doesn't apply to them for whatever reason they come up with. And it's really tough to pin them down on why they don't think the Constitution applies.
You know what I think is like the best way to sum up what they are is there's a really famous sovereign citizen getting arrested video where this girl explains to a cop, she says, free inhabitants have all of the rights of United States citizens without having to obey any of the laws. And the cop looks at her and goes, well, that would just be pure anarchy.
Yeah, that there's no way that can work at all. That's absolutely stupid. Let's get Aimee in, and then we got some more people too.
Yes, please. I just want to clear up some housekeeping really fast. We did get a super chat from our Mr. Victory for $5 American. He says, run out of toilet paper, get a slip and slide. Thank you so much, Mr. Victory.
Oh, that's a good one, man. Right on. And we got Logical Troglodyte in.
Yeah, a lot of the what they talk about with America selling out to the banks, and that the current Congress is an illegal body compared to the Continental Congress, yada, 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 goes back to, and forgive me if I get the year wrong, the Articles of Incorporation for Washington, D.C., passed by Congress, and I think it was 1867. Was it? Maybe? I don't know. But basically what was happening, because Washington, D.C. Is not part of a state, and they're not run by a state government, Congress was having to deal with all the local running of the District of Columbia. And that was taking away from their time of doing the stuff they needed to do on a federal level. So they made articles of an incorporation for the purpose of setting up a local government to handle the local stuff so that they, as the Congress, can deal with the federal stuff. But because it's got the word incorporation in that, they think that that equates to corporation as in business. They don't understand the distinction between a business corporation and a governmental incorporation.
Right, like a city versus Microsoft.
Yeah.
Too funny. BM Furball.
Well, I'd like to add on to the top of that. Separate from the sovereign citizen issues, you still have the non-state state of Washington, D.C., and what I think is absolutely hilarious is it's not a state because it's not statutorily a state. But if you've ever been in this area and you've seen somebody with Washington, D.C. license plate, the citation on it is taxation without representation because they're not a state.
Exactly, right? Yeah, DC. Duh.
I kind of feel for him. I'm not going to deny. I kind of feel for him.
That was a big one. Oh, man. Yeah, these guys are... so I think we've laid it out. I think we've got it pretty much laid out. Why don't we dive into...
we got a super chat.
Oh, we do. Okay. Sorry. I didn't even see that.
Yep. If it's okay, I'll get it for you.
Yeah,
it's from the Snark. Thank you. It's from the Snark for €2. He says, "Is it Jutmonk rant time yet?" Thank you so much.
That's so funny. I didn't notice it was a super chat, and I responded to him. I said he might not be here tonight. We're just waiting to see if he shows up, and I didn't even notice. I responded to it. How fucking crazy is that?
Also, I wanna respond to a comment or I want to read out a comment that someone made just because it makes me laugh. JP Jr. said, "NASA doesn't curve, water lies."
Oh, awesome. So let's queue up a video here. Let's get into the sovereign citizen and really see what's going on. I do think we've got these videos in the right order to show it properly. So the first video comes from YouTube channel Bests, and I'm not kidding, vids on the internet. And it's sovereign citizens getting owned by police. So I'm not really sure if the channel is, pro or con or whatever, but it just basically shows us what we need to see out of this guy. It should be exactly what the doctor ordered. Are we all set there, Bull? How are we looking, buddy?
We're good to go.
Excellent. Let's dive right in with sovereign citizen bullshit.
What videos you want to see next?
Those in the conversation being recorded, okay?
Yes, it is being recorded.
Great. The reason I'm stopping you is I'm aware, but your license is suspended.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have your driver's license? Proof of insurance on you?
I'm not in commerce, so I therefore don't need a driver's license.
You're not in what?
Commerce.
Okay. Well, you're on a public roadway within the state of Oregon. Okay, you need a driver's license.
Yep. Can you show me the law?
Did I hear pause?
Oh, wow.
Wow, what? Oh my god.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're a citizen of whatever country in the fucking world. You've got to obey by that country's laws if you're in that country. Get the fuck... Oh, what is it with fucking people?
You can't go to one country and do 80 mile an hour on the highway and turn to the cop and say, "Yeah, I know it says 50, officer, but I'm from Canada and we can do 80." Like, it just doesn't work that way. Yeah,
I don't know.
Man.
I don't know exactly how it works in Canada or Britain or whatever, but in the U.S., she's in Oregon, we have this thing called the 14th Amendment. And the 14th Amendment says that you are if you're born or naturalized citizen, then you're subject to the laws of the state in which you reside. You can't get really much more clearer than that right there. And that's the Constitution. That's not some convoluted freaking law. That's like, this is so dumb. It kills me.
Yeah, it's just the main thing, and they can't get around it. Logical, you're up too, buddy.
Yeah, I just kind of really feeling sorry for that officer. He doesn't even look old enough to drink, much less carry a weapon on him. He's obviously fresh out of the police academy. This had to have been like his very first traffic stop, and all of a sudden he gets whacked in the head with a sovereign citizen, and you could just see the confusion in his face. And it's like my heart goes out to the kid. It really does.
Yeah, he's thinking to himself, I have to explain this to a people that are obviously older than me. How the hell did I get to this position in life, man? Dead Kennedy.
Well, I mean, you say that. He definitely is like fairly new to the job. He's clearly a young guy and everything. But I've seen this video before. He's about to cite the exact law in Oregon that says you need a driver's license to drive.
Awesome.
Yeah,
oh yeah, you cannot be a dummy and graduate the police academy. Those boys are educated.
Yeah.
Well, somebody who knows quite a lot about enforcing the law. BM Furball.
What frustrates me about this is, I'm so happy to know that what's coming is that he's going to cite the law on this. But if you've got to think about the myriad of things law enforcement and first responders have to be knowledgeable in, trained in, responding to active shooters, responding to children in need, responding to domestic violence. How much of this poor kid's head has been filled with how to respond to sovereign citizens? Because they know they're all going to deal with it.
There's probably a part in the training now, how to deal with morons. It's probably important.
BM brings up a good point. I just want to say, like, to kind of piggyback on that, there's a channel called Donut Operator. He's an ex-cop who does police-related videos. He's really good. But there you can see the kind of stuff that cops are slightly more concerned with, like managing to take down a guy with a machete a mere second before he chops your partner's head off. They're slightly more concerned with that than which Oregon law says I need a driver's license to drive.
Yeah.
But they know them both.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So I can see this is going to be one of those evenings. Let's push play before we don't even get back to the video and the show's over.
Law for no valid operator's license. I believe it's 806012. Or I can check that out. It might be 806010, but I can check that for you.
Can you show me the law?
Driving while spin is A11175. But I need to see your license registration.
Do you understand that here in Oregon and everywhere else, if you're not in commerce, you're not required to have a driver's license? It's also under ORS.
The Department of Motor Vehicles only issues commercial driver's license.
I don't have that on us. It's titling, optional, titling, registration, and driver's license.
I'm asking you for your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance. Are you going to present that to me or not?
I can't do that.
You're not going to present that to me.
That would be fraud.
I can't do that.
That would be...
they only offer commercial drivers.
I'm sorry, but what you meant to say was, I can't do that because I don't have one. I'm not willing to do that. Let's at least have some form of honesty out of this fucking idiot's mouth. Holy shit. Here we go.
Yeah, what amazes me, these fuckers will argue for hours when all you do is present a little piece of plastic that's got all the little information on it. You get a little ticket. You go argue it in front of a judge, one day, and 10 minutes, you're down the road. But no, I'm going to argue with a man that has a loaded firearm on his hip for 3 fucking hours just because. I mean, it makes absolutely no fucking sense.
I know. I can't understand them, man. Maybe BM Furball can enlighten us some.
I think that I've just, an epiphany, realized the relation between sovereign citizen idiots like this and flat earthers. It's where they think they have found something that nobody else knows about, and they're going to argue with it about it forever and think you're the one that's wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of Daniel Pratt attitude in there, isn't there?
Hey, Dick, Isn't it
Yeah.
kind of like when have you ever been in an establishment? You'll know this because you're Canadian. You ever been in an establishment and there's some folks from Quebec in there, and they start speaking French as though it's a secret language, and most people in Canada can't figure out the majority of what they're saying.
Right. Yeah. We get that a lot here where I live. There's actually a decent population of francophone and whatnot here. So yeah, it's not an uncommon occurrence. That's for sure, man. Amy's got some stuff from the viewers here for us.
It's not uncommon here too in Maine because we have a big French population and they like to make snide comments thinking that you don't understand them. I love that. That's always fun. Yes, I have a couple good comments, please, if I could read them. Quit asking me to sprinkle them titties. I did promise to shout him out last night. Here you are. Yay. He said, I picked the wrong week to take meds that I can't have alcohol with. Nikki Daly says, holy fuck, the stupid is strong with this one. And AB Science says, 10th Amendment as well.
Good one. And I'll announce to everybody here that Steaming Cup of Reason has just joined the party. How's it going in your corner of the world, man?
It's going awesome. Dealing with that coronavirus bullshit. I'm on half days and blah, 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 blah. But I did finish episode 3 of Pain Progress for tomorrow. So that's a good thing.
Nice.
Excellent. Great news. Can't wait to see it. Right on. Yeah, we just started with the sovereign citizen stuff, and it's already going very far downhill. So get your oven mitt ready.
Looks like I missed a whole mining truckload of dumb shittery.
Yeah, well, we only just started on this video. He pulls them over in a gas station, and they're trying to explain to him that they don't need a license and registration. And, the poor kid's right out of the academy, and you could just see it on his face. Why do I have to deal with these dumb fucks? Why?
Oh, man, what a dumbass.
This isn't why I joined the force.
Hey, how you doing, BM? Good to see you, man.
I'm doing good, man. Glad you're here.
If you'd have gone to that gas station
Zpostate.
2 months prior, that
How you
kid would
doing?
have been behind the cash register, by the way.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into this video. See what I missed, man.
Well, hold on here. We got Dead Kennedy up, and then we'll hit play.
Cool. I just want to read something from Reddit really quickly. Someone was trying to get the traveling, not driving thing explained to them. And one of the answers says, I once argued with a Sov Sid over this, and he pointed to a case titled Thompson versus Smith. Inside it states that traveling by motor vehicle is a right and not a privilege, as it notes that whatever is the modern mode of travel for the day, the citizen has a right to. It also says in the bottom line ruling, however, that cities and states may regulate it in the interest of public safety. So basically, they're pointing to one half of an old court case.
Right.
That's like saying that the right to breathe air is a right. It's not a privilege. But that doesn't mean you have the right to breathe the air that's in my living room.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, driving is not a right, it's a privilege. And there's more to a driver's license than just the permission to drive.
It's a certificate. You can drive as much as you want on the property that you own. But as soon as you cross boundaries, you're in my territory.
Yeah,
but that license is also a certificate that says you're qualified to operate that vehicle.
And it also says that you're financially being responsible towards the roads and everything you are using. Like, you can't just simply step up and use it with everybody else paying for it. What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah, you run down some kid doing 50 in a 30 zone. You think I'm paying for that? Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, or even just in the winter sliding off the road and hitting a fucking telephone pole. That's cost to the city and whatnot. That's taxes. And your free ass on the land ain't paying them, so screw you.
This might be a little bit of a stretch, but you don't think you can't have a thinking license, but yeah, we do have a thinking license. We have a thinking license for people that are providing medical care. You can think it, but you can't do it outside of your own body if you're providing that information to others. You are required to go through a procedure to inflict your whatever you're doing upon someone else. If I'm going to give you medical care, I have to have the certificates for it. If I'm going to drive on property that's not mine, I've got to have the certificates for it.
Yeah. every doctor in the U.S. and Canada has to have a license to practice their trade.
Right.
Look, I don't know what you guys are talking about. There's this lady who sells this stuff called Jilly Juice. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. Stuff is rank, man. Rank.
I don't know about Jilly Juice, but I get this great stuff from Dave. It's yellow, big bottle full.
Kind of foamy at the top.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, you can see right there. I filled the cooler. Right, just look behind you, Amy. You'll see. I filled the cooler.
I see that.
Someone play the
if you
video
shake
and
it
stop this
first.
madness.
More video, no more we.
So what do you think, guys? Let's play some video and see what the cop does to these guys.
Okay. Driver's licenses, and I'm not in a commercial capacity.
You should actually look up the Motor Vehicle
Make it
Act.
clear one more time. You're not willing to present me with a driver's license.
Right.
Okay. I'll be right back. Feel free to go.
I'm being detained. On what grounds am I being detained?
On my grounds.
On your grounds, I'm being detained.
Drink.
We should have done a drinking bingo card for this. We'd be by the end of this video, let alone the next two.
That's just it. That donut operator guy, he does streams where he does sovereign citizen bingo. It's great.
Nice. That sounds funny.
Yeah.
But
being detained should be the center square because that always goes down every time.
I think there is a free space that's something they always say, and I can't remember what it is. But what I like about this is that he's not dealing with it at all. Like, he's not playing their game at all. He just goes, okay, right. I'm just going to ask the question about the license again, and then we're going to deal with this.
Hey, Zpostate, would you say that am I being detained is the sovereign citizen equivalent of water finds its level? It's just the go-to thing.
Right. Yes, it is. It's actually, there's like with every lie, there's a little grain of truth. You can't be detained for no reason for an extended period of time, but a cop absolutely has the right to hold you for a little while to figure out what is going on. And especially if you don't present your papers to them, which they have a right to, then that's a reason for them to keep you on the side of the road some more. Like, how stupid can
you can't go Jason Bourne just because somebody asked for your ID and they have a badge and a gun, right? What the hell, man? Dead Kennedy's up.
Just a quick fun fact. The subreddit for sovereign citizens is r/am I being detained.
Yes.
No way. Jesus, I love these guys. That's too funny. Furball's up.
Hey, buddy. My buddy just came in to say goodnight. But cool. if you want the grounds for why he is being detained, there's actually constitutional and Supreme Court decisions on this. It's called a Terry stop, and that is that the police are authorized by the Supreme Court and by statute to briefly detain a person based upon reasonable suspicion that they have been involved in criminal activity. Reasonable suspicion is a really, really low bar. And the criminal activity at hand here is not having a license. He has full grounds to detain this woman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is no gray area at all, right, John? Right, reason? This is... It's clear as bell.
Right.
Yeah. And these sovereign citizens, these dumb fucks are going to be the first ones screaming their rights under the law when they're looking for social services.
Yeah.
I wanna take a little detour because I'm looking at my own license here, and there's a couple things of note on it. One is a statement on the front that says operation of a motor vehicle, doesn't specify driving or traveling, constitutes consent to any sobriety test required by law. So you have to pull over. You have to submit to the breathalyzer. Whether you're drunk, whether they think you're drunk or not, you have to submit to it. That's a given. There's also, on the back, it says the state of Florida, which is where I live, retains all property rights herein. So technically, this is not even my card. It does not belong to me. It just says I can drive. That's all it does.
Bull, you just brought up a really, really good point. The argument of am I traveling or am I driving doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is are you operating a vehicle that requires some form of certification.
That's right.
Right. The license to operate. Yeah.
That's right.
Dead Kennedy.
I just want to point out we've got the Sovsit King with us in the chat, Schrodinger's cat.
Oh, yeah.
He's been doing a lot of Sovsit videos lately. I've been enjoying a lot of them. In fact, this video was in one of his videos. That's why I've seen it before.
Ah, that makes sense. That's probably where I found it.
Well, this is a different. This is a compilation, right? There's more people than this in this video, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I only watched the beginning and went, "Well, that's good enough for me."
This is a 20-minute video, so we've.
Oh my God!
I don't have enough beer for that.
We've managed to go.
I've got beer.
2. We've gone in.
All right, we should try and let it roll a little bit then.
Yeah, see if we can get a minute.
I'm just gonna shout drink every 10 seconds.
Yeah. Drink. All right, pull the trigger, Bull.
What grounds am I being detained? But on what grounds am I being detained?
So he's refusing.
Get out of the car and walk towards it. Please, get out of the car and walk towards it.
James Weaver, being issued citation for driving while suspended in violation, driving uninsured, failure to carry the vehicle registration. Your court date is 9/23/2013 at 8:30 a.m. at 225 West All Street in Newport, Oregon, Lincoln County Courthouse. Okay, these are all violations. They're not mandatory appearances. You appear by mail at the address right there, or there's 4 officers in the back take the way and take care of it. Okay. Any questions about your citation?
No questions. Do you have a business card?
Jeremy, don't do that.
What's that?
Do you have a business card?
I'm sure I do. Would you like one?
Yeah.
Fucking bad. That's what I have.
Yeah, big metal business card right there on my
Do you
chest.
carry any bond?
Do you?
I've had this discussion with you numerous times. I don't know what you mean by bonds. I don't know any of that.
Well, you have to have bond or limited liability insurance.
Statute laws, okay. So there's that. I'm not going to tow your vehicle, but you're not okay to drive away from here. Okay. If you drive away from here, you're going to be subject to more citations in the vehicle tow.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't say anything. Just.
Okay. So you got to get somebody with a license down here to drive. Okay. There's that for you. Are you going to take it?
Nope.
Yeah, dumbass.
So,
not all
two things. I love the dropping of the ticket in. That's brilliant. And second, pay attention to what he said. You are not free to drive away. Remember that he said that, and the guy accepted it more or less.
Yeah.
You just remember that.
Clearly stated you will be subject to further citations and the towing of the vehicle.
I think he said you will be arrested.
That too.
And the
At
vehicle
that point,
towed.
right now he's got every grounds to arrest him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. And lucky
Barman's.
Oh, he did.
Oh yeah, exactly right. Barman's in.
I just love the level of no fucks given by that police officer. It's just literally, there's your ticket. But not only that, did you pick up what you said before? We've had this conversation before many times. I don't think this is the first time he's pulled them over. He's probably pulled them over before, had to deal with this shit, hence why he knew the rule off the top of his head and the law numbers and things. He's just like, you know what? Fuck you. Next time I pull you over, I'm going to know this shit. And I'm just going to go, no, fuck you, you little twats. You have no reason. I really hope you get out of the car so I can shoot you in the kneecap. Yeah.
He's probably the reason that she got her license revoked.
More than likely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh, fuck my life.
Yeah, too funny, man. You can see that this is just gonna end so well. Should we let it keep going here? Because I'm really excited to see what happens. Oh man.
So he's telling us we cannot drive.
We're not driving, we're traveling.
We'll beat you to it.
Oh, God.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
here we go. We're traveling. Yeah, right. Well,
Sorry about
travel on foot, you dumbass, but you're not doing it in a car.
How are you controlling this car? Sorry.
This okay. Yeah, Amy, you got a super chat to do, right?
Yes, please, if I could. It's from Schrodinger's cat for $1.99 American. He says, "See my roast tomorrow. Heat kills the virus." Thank you so much, Schrodinger.
Yeah, we got Schrodinger's cat joining tomorrow, and we're gonna look back in this couple of his early videos and just see, how he got to be the guy he is on YouTube now.
Schrodinger, I have been in your seat. I am so ready for this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So was there more pause action to be had there, or should we let this play out a bit more? Yeah, okay.
We're not driving, we're traveling.
Oh, how are you traveling? In a car. How is the car moving?
Yeah.
Well, we're driving it. Well, shut the fuck up then, you fucking asshole.
We're not playing videos to make fun of you. We're viewing.
Yeah.
I'm not playing videos, I'm viewing them.
Okay, what do you say, Bull? Let's pull the trigger and see where this goes.
Exactly. And he's gonna wait for us to go to travel, and he's probably gonna pull us over again. And of course, he's probably got backup somewhere.
Said he was going. Said those words.
How stupid can you be? You know it's coming. He just told you.
Do you want me to drive?
No.
If this was the UK, they would take your car before it even got to this point. You would then have to pay to get the car back, or they would crush it.
Yeah, it's actually kind of amazing if the car hasn't already been impounded.
Yeah.
Should I just
Come on. Start
make a dash home and get in the drain gun?
Turn the key.
Sure.
Turning the key is
Turn the key, bitch.
Or just
the only excuse they need.
if they try to tow our vehicle with our kids in the truck
It's like
in the rain
it's
with
like
no
watching a
sweaters.
train wreck. You know what's gonna happen. You know it's gonna be ugly, but you just can't.
Do you want to do it?
I'll do it.
You promise that you won't put the car in park or anything like that?
Like, what do you mean in park?
What did he say? Should I stop this?
No, keep that recording.
I paused it. I'm sorry. What do you mean put the car in park? Is it ambiguous? Is anybody
I wonder
there's a gear
if
labeled P on your dashboard, for fuck's sake.
if the car needs to be put in park, I wonder what gear it's in now. I wonder what that word is.
Travel.
Yeah.
I don't know about you,
Kevin.
Kevin. I always put my car in T to go.
That's right.
But this is wonderful. This is funny stuff. Like Logical said, it's like watching a train wreck. It's just it's awful, and you know what's going to happen, but you can't look away. To quote The Simpsons, it's like watching a monkey swallow a hand grenade.
Do you guys think maybe we should put it in fast forward mode and get to the point where they actually, screw up again?
It being pulled over.
Yeah, 1.25.
Yeah.
1.3.
Yeah, let's try a little Booleanenator action on that and give her a little speed up here.
The whole time, as long as it'll record. What did he say about if we need somebody with a license? Yeah, to come down here and drive it. I should be the one that just goes. What? Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't have any brakes on or anything. It just seems like it won't. Okay. Yeah, he's waiting right down there. But I'm just gonna go home, okay? Which way you wanna go? Straight. He's right there. He's gonna pull out anyways. So at least if I get home, if they try to arrest me, then just put it somewhere safe. You understand they're probably gonna try to arrest me? Don't sign anything.
They are.
Sorry, Boolean.
Oh man, the longer they wait, the longer they wait, the worse it's gonna get.
So that was like that was like one of those instant karma videos. You ever watch those instant karma videos where 90% of them are people being dicks in traffic, and then the cops just happen to be there?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's another subreddit that's convenient cop.
I'm gonna visit that.
I have to find that.
But that's kind of what this was like. We see them driving, and we're like, just do it, and then you hear the sirens, and you get so happy. That was great.
I love it. Yeah, Aimee needs in here. Aimee, your turn.
Yes, please. We have a super chat from Mr. Victory for $5 American. He says, need a Jutmonk on this. This frack of a woman, not worth giving a frack. She needs to travel off the short side of a fracking bridge, the frack. Thank you so much, Mr. Victory.
He's not wrong. Absolutely.
Fracking nylons. Oops, I mean soft sets.
Yeah. Okay, let's watch the arrest. This is going to be awesome. We have to see this.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
When we get out, keep the keys in. I'll lock the door. Okay. What do you want, this? Yeah. Tell him your son had to poop. Hey, man, my son has to take a crap. Okay. Are you detaining me? Yes, do you understand this is a deprivation of my right? And do you also understand?
Put your hands behind your back.
The no trespassing sign right there, 164265.
You don't understand.
Will you give her my wallet and stuff? You have a serious.
This poor kid.
That's why he wasn't stopping right away. He was trying to get to his own driveway. Because now I'm on my private property. No trespassing. You can't come here. Illegal search and seizure. Illegal detainment. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You could see the frustration in that kid's eyes, man.
Oh,
yeah.
So
yeah, his face is just. Yeah.
I don't get how people that fucking stupid can get up in the morning, tie their own shoelaces, not put their underwear on their fucking head, go out in the car and go, hey, what did we say? Let's piss off a police officer. Dooby-dooby-doo. Right, if you drive again, I'm going to arrest you. Okay. He's fucked off now. No, he's not, you fucking moron, because he knows what you're going to do. But when I get back to my house, you can't arrest me because that's my law. No, you have to obey the fucking law. How is this fucking difficult for someone? You do something wrong, you face the consequences. I don't like the consequences. Tough fucking shit. you're going to get it round the back in jail. I'm very sorry, but you've got very effeminate features. I'm sure there's some people who are going to like that, and I'm really sorry for that. I've had a few beers.
Well, I think that was well needed.
It was needed. They remind me of little kids who go through that stage where they say, you know, well, I don't know why you can't get me in trouble. You're not my mom.
Yeah, you're not the boss of me.
Exactly.
Too funny. Yeah,
Well,
BM Furball. Oh, sorry, BM Furball's in.
I feel so sorry for this kid, the cop, because the look on his face as he's putting the handcuffs on this asshat, because you can see the life draining from his body as he's thinking, this is not why I joined the force. And sadly, there is someone being beaten by their spouse right now that I can't help because you're a fucking asshat and made me chase you without a driver's license.
I was going to bring that point up. Well said. Well said. Dead Kennedy, you're up.
You know, the more I look at it, the more he looks, he is looking and acting like Ethan Hawke in Training Day. Shoot, sorry. Hang on, I kind of forgot what I was going to say. That sucks. I got distracted by how much he looks like young Ethan Hawke.
That's a symptom of the virus. Can't have your memory.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I remember now. So the barman was saying, like, what's wrong with these people, basically. And what's weird is soft sit stuff, it can go a lot deeper for some people. Like, here's a quote from a sovereign citizen. I advocate for the random shooting of judges.
What the fuck?
There's a sovereign citizen who has said that. And these guys hate the cops. A lot of them have this really deep-seated hatred for cops. And it gets fucking dark and weird. And I don't know what that comes from. Maybe a bad history with the police. Because, like, I'm willing to admit, I've had a couple interactions with the police where I was at fault. And in none of those did I feel like I was being treated poorly or subjugated unfairly or anything like that. I just went along with what they said because I knew I was wrong. And at the end of the day, everybody went home peacefully.
Yeah. Exactly, man. Holy. Amy's in for a review here. Oh, did we lose Aimee? Hello?
Oh, can you hear me?
Now we do.
I'm here. Now I lost internet for a second. I don't know what's going on there, but the reason why I buzzed in too, because it was really pertinent to this. The FBI, I have their website up, and in their archives, they have the sovereign citizen movement listed as domestic terrorism. There's a reason for it. Because, like you said, they like to threaten to kill cops. They like to threaten to kill judges. They've been known to, one of the things, commit murder and physical assault that says threaten judges, law enforcement professionals, and government personnel. Some of them even impersonate police officers and diplomats and use fake currency, passports, license plates, and driver's licenses. And they also do like white collar scams as well. So that's sort of how I learned about them too, a little bit. So yeah, right. They're listed as domestic terrorists.
Wow. I didn't realize they were that bad. But, you know, as you're starting to see it and stuff, like, you know, it's almost domestic terrorism, just wasting the cop's time, because there's got to be something real he could be doing instead of dealing with this guy. Right. I mean, this is just.
I do want to say, like, there's a gradient to this stuff, like there is with say Flat Earth, right? Like, there's some who are just fucking around and don't really believe it. There are some who are really deep into it and really damaged, like Nathan Thompson. And same with Zpostate. You've got some that just want to get away with driving without a license, and there's some who want cops dead.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was going to bring that point up to everybody here at the table. How much of this do you think is actually them just trying to get out of financial responsibilities due to being a member of society?
A large portion is my guess.
I think so too. Yeah.
I would equate it similarly to flat earthers. Maybe you dipped your toe in because you thought maybe the laws were a little screwy and it wasn't correct. And then you got in with some friends that were idiots, and you got in so far that now you can't turn around without being a complete idiot. just like the flat earthers. You thought that some of the science might have been a little weird. Maybe we didn't go to the moon. Then you dove into flat earth, and now you can't turn around.
Well said, man. Well said. We got the barman up.
I feel like these sovereign citizens would have more luck with the policemen if when the police came up to them and said, papers, they went, scissors, I win. At least then the policeman might find it amusing, but geez, the stupidity is just not good. That was all.
You're not wrong there, man. You're not wrong. Zpostate's up.
Yeah, you know, there is a gradient to it. And there is a point too where you should know your rights, because, you know, as with any industry and anything, there are some bad cops in the world, and you should know like your Fourth Amendment rights and things, but you should also know where those rights end and where the law sort of begins. So like, I understand that there's some well-meaning people in there, but just like Furball said, some of them just take it way too far, and then could lose complete understanding of the whole thing. You know, like you should, educate yourself on the stuff, but don't be an asshole about it. God damn.
Exactly. And there is that whole asshole point to it. Absolutely. I totally agree. Dead Kennedy's up.
I just want to read out and kind of respond to a comment from our own AB Science. He said, I've had sufficient experience with racism/xenophobia from the police. I'm not their biggest fan, but I recognize that the police are an important part of society. And I think that's worth talking about. I think that's like the only thing that sovereign citizens are even close to worth, is that they can point to and help raise the discussion about the real issues with different police forces in the world. Because the thing is, Canadian police, for instance, I hesitate to say it, but they're not that bad. There's not as many issues. But then, you know, there was a thing a little while ago. Does anybody remember this, about a guy who was shot and killed in a hotel room, and he was very drunk, and they were making him do all this insane, like, get on the ground and crawl to me crap, and he reached back to like pull up his pants, so they shot him dead. And I was like, okay, see, this is a problem with the police. This is a cop who's power hungry, and that's something that needs to be looked at. But just like flat earthers, they don't care about the real issues. Sovereign citizens, they care about avoiding their responsibilities.
Yeah, it definitely. I totally agree, man. Logical's in.
Yeah, one county south of me is loaded with rednecks and sov-cits, and the cops down there tend to be assholes, you know, and I do understand why they are the way they are. And I've gotten pulled over a couple of times over the years down there, and it always makes me nervous because, you know, they come across, and I've learned that all I have to do if they pull me over is have my license and registration in hand before they ever get to my window. And I use the word sir 2 or 3 times. Yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you, sir. And then they start to relax. Okay, this guy's not an asshole. But they do have a tendency to think down there that everybody that they meet is going to be a dick to them, so they're going to do a preemptive strike. So yeah, in my area, there are some really dickish cops, but I try to put myself in their shoes. And if I was doing their job, I might be a bit of a dick myself, but there's just no excuse for, you know, arguing with the man with the gun. And
that's a big one, man. I mean, they have the authority. You if you want to do this protest stuff and whatnot, go and do it properly. You don't just drive around illegally. You know, go and have a sit-in in front of your local police station and argue your case the way you're supposed to do it.
And speaking of like what Logical said with you know, they're probably expecting a lot of people to just be awful that they have to deal with. That's just like working in any job, right? You know, you work. I worked customer service for phone companies on, you know, at a call center, and I was in the billing department. So 90% of the calls I got were because people hadn't paid their bill. So eventually, I just got into this mindset of most people I'm going to talk to are complete assholes, and I wouldn't go in with that mindset, but I'd go in expecting it. And sometimes it wouldn't happen. It'd be a nice surprise.
Right. Cool. I got a few backlogs here, guys. So let's get Aimee in.
Yes, thank you. Just a quick one. Sir, for $5 American, he says, Hitting the like button is the law. Don't be a sovereign citizen. Hit that like button. Thank you so much, sir.
Good shout, Surf. Right on. And we got Furball in.
So, from both sides of the spectrum, and sovereign citizens aside, kind of, this is the law enforcement average citizen interaction I want to talk about for a second. Sovereign citizens are asshats. They're pushing buttons. They are on the wrong 100% of the time with the tactics they're providing. But from the conversation we've been having over the past 10 minutes or so about your general interactions with law enforcement, I agree. Law enforcement is a shitty position to be in. I've been in law enforcement with the U.S. military for the past 17 years, and over that time, I hate soldiers. I'm a soldier, but I've grown to just hate them because, in my mind, because of how much I've been dealing with them, they're all criminals to me in my mind. That's not the right mindset to have 24/7, but it's hard to break free from. But the one thing that everybody in law enforcement needs to do is to put that aside and be professional, regardless of the surroundings you're in, regardless of who you're dealing with. You are never the person to be unprofessional first. So
Right.
I understand the bias. I understand you deal with these assholes every day. But this kid in this video exemplifies that. He deals with this all the time, and he was the professional. And there are way too many people in law enforcement that don't abide by that.
There is, but it's that whole thing within any group of people. You're always going to have your high rollers, your average dudes, and then you maybe don't really belong here. It's just how it is, right? No group's perfect.
It's a fact of life. It really is a fact of life, and I wish that organizations like law enforcement had a better way of weeding out the people that shouldn't be there. But we are generally just like the military, a cross-section of society. The problems that society has, so do we.
Exactly. Steaming Cup of Reason's up.
Yeah, when it comes to these sovereign citizens, they're all just a bunch of dumb fucks, and we all know it. But my point is, the only group that I'm aware of that has even just a little bit of immunity from local laws are foreign dignitaries with diplomatic immunity. And even they have to have a recognized diplomatic license to operate a vehicle wherever they happen to be. Now, I might be wrong on that, and I would like BM to kind of comment on that, but that's how I see it. This guy is not a fucking diplomat.
Absolutely. So diplomatic immunity is something completely different. Basically, what diplomatic immunity is that you are here as a visitor to our country as an official from your country, meaning that we will not punish you for your violations of our law. But that's an agreement with your country that they will punish you for violations of their law.
Got it.
So if you commit a crime in the United States that's against the laws in your home country as a diplomat, that's the agreement with your home country that they will punish you for that crime. It's very similar to the statutes with the U.S. military in combat zones. In Afghanistan, a soldier is not going to be prosecuted by the Afghanistan government for murder. If they committed a murder while on a deployment for combat, they will be prosecuted by the U.S. military. They are exempt from it from the local government because that's an agreement we have with the Afghan government. But at any time, if we don't prosecute enough people, guess what? They pull out of that agreement and they start prosecuting our people.
Right. Yeah, and that's
right.
It's pretty much standard everywhere, right?
Immunity can be revoked. That's the point. Like, you're there, and it's designed to actually kind of like, okay, you made a little boo-boo, you know what you're not supposed to do in your own country, and you know you were wrong. So that's kind of the whole thing. But if you come here and misbehave on a grand scale, like you go on a killing spree, your immunity is going to get revoked, and they're going to catch your ass.
Yeah, I had a coworker here right now that he was detained for about 6 hours in, I don't know if it's the Philippines or one of the countries in that general area, for 6 hours for importation of contraband and drugs because he had Skull in his backpack. And in that country, that was a drug. You could smoke. You just couldn't have dip. But we were able to pull him back. It's like, sorry, not a violation of our law. Please give him back to us. We promise we won't do it again.
But
So what do you guys
the problem with these sovereign citizens is they think that just saying that, oh, I'm free, I have my own existence, they think that automatically entitles them to the same kind of protection as these diplomats. Well, fuck you. You don't have a fucking country, the sovereign republic of Hillbilly Hill. Fuck you. You're in the States. You were born here. You fucking you live here. You fucking function here. You are subject to the laws here, like everybody else. You dumb fuck.
Exactly.
There's some things you can't ignore. I can't see a diplomat going outside going, diplomatic immunity, I'm not going to wear pants. Yeah, you're still going to get someone taking you away for that, dude.
Except in Die Hard.
Yeah, that's funny. Good one.
Steaming Cup, just really quickly, you said hillbilly there. The politically correct term is son of the soil.
Oh, well, excuse me.
I thought it was son of your sister.
Oh, you beat me to it, damn it, barman.
Yes. Too funny. So what does everybody think here? We seen this guy get arrested. Shall we move on to the second video and pull some more stupid into our lives, courtesy of the sovereign citizen movement?
Hell yes, I want fresh stupid. I'm bored of their stupid.
Yeah.
I need fresh sovereign stupid.
I'm not only bored of this stupid, I'm too tired of feeling sad for this officer.
Yeah, let's get an old officer that has the way to have snark back and be right.
Absolutely. We need an officer who is so ready to use that window smashing rod.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to see some smackdown of sov sits.
Absolutely.
There's a couple. I think there's a couple videos out there of sovereign citizens refusing to get out of the vehicle, so the cop just goes back and opens the back door, and guess what jumps out? It's like A9 unit.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those ones where I can feel like the sovereign citizens will go, police brutality. It's like, it's fine. You're not a citizen. You're obviously just invading my country. I'm performing an act by sending you back to.
I'm annexing you.
Yes, I'm annexing you. That's what I'm.
Too funny. Too funny. Logical
back to the States.
Yeah, I thought now was the time to interject with Grandpa Trog's public service announcement for the day. If someone you love is stupid, take their video camera away from them, hand them a book, help them to engage their brain before they engage their mouths. If you cannot figure out who is stupid in your life, it's probably you.
Hey, Trog, do you know the perfect place to take away someone's phone and give them a book? Prison.
That works too.
That's a good one. So let's see. The next video we're going to look at tonight here, I've pulled them out of order because we have to get this one in for sure. This is channel Sovereign Citizen, and the video is entitled Sovereign Citizen Goes In. Now, I'm scared to know where he's going in. I can only hope this isn't woke culture being mixed with sovereign citizens, but let's see where it goes. I did see the first 15 seconds of this, and it looks like it could have some really good stuff. So, and also we've got the gong open now. So I just put the code in. If you want to go to www.buzzin.live, put in that code and you can gong the video off if it's just too fucking stupid. So at that, what do you say, Boole? How about we pull the trigger on this fucking idiot?
Will do.
Yeah.
I did say to you, when you have a deposit, when you have a rent, when you have source of income,
I do.
You got a background check and you sign a lease agreement, you're more than welcome to stay. Did I not tell you that before? And I'll tell you that again. But if you carry on being the way you are right now...
But I've already been staying here for 2 months now.
Without
Legally.
Legally?
I have been. Yeah. I have been staying here, Saeed.
Illegally? Without my permission? Without
no, you knew I was staying here.
Only the last month.
You knew I was staying here. Steve actually paid you extra money.
No, he underpaid
yes, he did.
He underpaid me for...
This guy's not a sovereign citizen. He's a fucking squatter.
That's right.
Fuck.
Yeah,
okay. Somebody said the buzz in live isn't working. Did I get the wrong code? Let me just try here. I'll paste it back in.
I've been copying that.
And what was it? 947881. No? We might have to try a new one if that one's not working. We'll see.
No, it's actually 811.
They're saying that isn't working.
Yeah.
947811. That's what you posted.
Yeah.
Can somebody come at least try to come in? Because I don't see.
Yeah, now everybody in the side chat's going to be buzzing in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll buzz in. Here I go.
He's a squatter.
Oh, did it change, Bull?
No, that's for everybody to buzz in for the Gong Show.
Right, that's the Gong Show.
947881. No, either no game exists with that code, or the game has disabled new players joining. You broke it.
Just refresh your page, Bull, and we'll get a new code.
All right.
I still don't know how to play that game.
Here's the new code in the chat for everybody to. I would appreciate it if somebody would at least log in as a player. Thank you.
Yeah, here we go.
I will do now. 693956.
Okay.
You sound like
now,
a
we
bingo caller.
Yeah, we got a few people lined up on the buzzers, so Dead Kennedy's up.
Geez, I'm trying to remember what I was thinking. This guy is a squatter. He's he reminds me of the Donnellys. This is how they got their land, and look how it ended for them.
Is
that a joke that only Dick's gonna get?
That was really funny.
Yeah, no idea what that is. Bloody Canadian
awesome.
humor.
That's the most Canadian joke I've ever told. You know what? It's worth explaining. The Donnellys were a family of Irish people who came over to a little town near me, actually, about 100 years ago, and they squatted on some land and eventually built themselves a house and terrorized the town for like 20 years until they all ended up being killed in their house via vigilante justice. So that's what squatting gets you, kids.
Sorry, I thought you said this was a funny show.
Who the hell said that?
Oh, I thought. Okay, I'm mishearing things. Sorry.
That's all I'm saying. That's what being a squatter gets you. Vigilante justice.
Nice. Well, let's let it play and see where this goes. I'm hoping the landlord gives him a shot to the face, man.
Kick in the nuts. Kick in the nuts.
Okay. He pays you extra money to have me here.
No.
Yes, he did.
I mean, that's none of you, is it, to be honest with you?
Okay.
Have you not stayed here?
I live here.
You live where?
Here. As a matter of fact, I think you need a eviction notice to get me out.
But you have to be a tenant.
How is he supposed to do that?
That's the thing. We have a verbal agreement.
There's no such thing as America.
Verbal agreements.
I don't have a verbal agreement with you, number one.
Well, you're lying then. You're a liar. You're a liar. I mean, it explains.
There we go.
So when did we start watching public freakout compilations on the Shills?
Yeah.
That's what this shit is.
That's not a freakout yet.
Not yet, but it's got the vibe of those videos, you know? It's just two people having a disagreement on the street. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the educated guess that the gentleman being filmed is less to blame than the gentleman filming.
Oh yeah, good call. Absolutely, Steamy Cup of Reason.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, isn't squatting considered an illegal act to begin with?
Yes.
Yes.
If I understand correctly, there is a slight gray area on Canadian Crown land.
Okay, but this guy is
not,
okay.
Yeah, not commercial properties.
Generally speaking, squatting is an illegal act, and yet this guy is demanding the owner of the land to provide legal documents that say he has to leave.
Yeah,
a little bit of a double standard, don't you think, you dumb fuck?
Fun fact: when I looked it up, Squatters' rights is specifically a big issue in Ontario.
Okay.
Because there apparently is some form of squatters' rights in Ontario, but it's probably very specific, and most people most likely abuse it.
Oh, I'm sure. Zpostate's in.
Yeah.
Oh, Zpostate. Hello.
I have to unmute first. Isn't that fun? Okay. So, actually, sort of piggybacking off of what Kevin just said, there are such a thing as squatters' rights. I don't know how it works in Canada versus how it works in America. And of course, it's different state by state. But I actually looked into this a little bit ago. But a squatter can have rights at some point. It doesn't mean that they get to like just keep the thing forever, but the property has to be quote unquote abandoned by the owner for a significant length of time. Here in California, it's a full year that the owner of the property had not come around and actually checked in on what was going on. And then the squatter would have some rights to keep the property for a little while. But obviously this guy is telling the guy who's being filmed that, hey, you knew I was living here. So he's not a squatter. Actually, by definition, he's just a person who stole the dude's house at this rate.
Right, he's
all that is.
He's a freeloading piece of shit, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
He's those pricks that are the reason it's so hard to rent in Canada, because there are these assholes who will do this shit where they know the law and they'll like stay in a place 3 months where they're not wanted because they know they're legally allowed to, and they'll do all this ridiculous crap. That's what this is.
Yeah. Because you got to have some laws that protect tenants because of certain situations that come up. You can't have somebody signing a 3-year lease and then 2 months into it go, oh, my brother's moving to town. You got 20 days. You got to beat it. But those protections can be abused by assholes like this.
Right.
Speaking of assholes like this, then, shall we let them go a bit more? I don't think this one will last too long, but we'll let it play a bit, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's why your shitty ass fucking building is shit, because it's carpet's dirty, trash, it's disgusting, not up to par. It's not. You don't take care of your tenants at all, actually. It's disgraceful, and you wanna flip it on me because.
Wouldn't he be the one responsible for the dirty carpet and the disgusting living conditions? What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Does he expect this guy to be his maid?
Yeah. Fuck. Get a vacuum. Get a mop, you lazy fuck. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I look around and notice I got some house cleaning to do, but still. Fuck.
I know I have to do it. You know what I mean? I know it's my responsibility to get it done.
I'm not going to start putting it on the landlord as a reason why I haven't paid him. Like all of a sudden, the place is a shithole anyway, so why should I have to pay you is the attitude we're hearing, right? It's just a joke.
Yeah, I just had to look at the UK laws for squatting. As very similar, if you're in a residential property and you're paying rent and falling behind on rent but refuse to leave, that is not squatting. If you break into the premises and then claim squatters' rights, that is against the law and you can face 6 months in prison for that. But it has to be a residential property. If it's a non-residential property, you can get yourself in, you can claim, I'm squatting. You then have to have an eviction notice. But you can be imprisoned or fined, charged, or anything for any criminal damage you cause to the property, either by your entry or while you're in there. So that was interesting.
Cool. Nice one. Good. Furball's up.
Yeah, to kind of add on to everything and what Zpostate mentioned earlier. Every state is different, and with the squatters' rights, the squatters' rights is to break in. In cities like Detroit and other areas where they've got parts of town that have just been abandoned, they have serious squatters' rights problems. But it seems that anytime you're trying to get one of these people out of the house, it's almost impossible to get them out in a timely manner. I mean, some places it takes 6 months legally to get them out because the law enforcement, the courts hamstring you so much. The difference with this asshat is that this guy isn't a squatter. This guy's a freeloader that stayed on the couch of one of his friends, and somehow that gives him the rights of being on the lease agreements, and he can't be kicked out.
Yeah. That's absolute insanity, man. Dead Kennedy, you got some.
I remembered why I buzzed in that time that I kind of forgot. It was because Ugly German Truths mixed up BM with me, and I found it funny and wanted to point it out.
That's happened several times.
I saw Ugly German say something about something I said, and I was like, "What? Did I say that?" I was really confused. And then a couple seconds later, I see BM go, "I'm not Dekus. We're different people."
Or so we claim.
Have you ever been in the same room together, or?
Yeah. Canadian Red's rhetoric on Xanax is not BM Furball.
Digital Demonic Navros says BM Furball is a squatter from South Korea.
hey, Customs is the ones that made the mistake of letting me back in.
Yeah. Too funny. Well, should we play a little bit more and see if we want to, keep letting this fool talk, or, try another one and blah, blah?
How have you guys not gonged this idiot off yet?
I'm wondering.
I'm quite disturbed by that fact.
Yeah.
We've got
Get in that gong show buzzer, everybody.
Got 9 players and only 2 have gonged it.
Oh,
we gotta keep going.
Here's the codes.
The rules.
3, 4.
All right.
All right. Yeah, they just killed it.
I was just typing then as well.
That's that.
Yeah, I think the unknown comic just got dragged off the stage.
Yeah.
All right. So let me dig into the baggage.
We need to get like a giant cane animation to like drag the videos off the screen.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah.
That's a good one. We got to do that. I love it. I love it. So let's reach into the bag of tricks here and see what we got. We got Wachachi running free with a video of Sovereign, a word to fear. And then we've got Mr. White. Yeah, and then we've got Mr. White doing Sovereign Citizen X uncut. And that is a guy in court arguing with the judge. And the other guy's an idiot in his truck beaking off. So what do you want? Courtroom or idiot in truck?
Courtroom.
Let's get a little from the viewers too. So do you want courtroom or idiot in truck? Let's get a little votes here. What does everybody at the table say?
One for courtroom, 2 for truck.
Can I just
one
specify,
for courtroom? Yeah.
Does the idiot in truck have the police brutality? He's going to smash open the window.
Is that one? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm just hoping. Yeah. I'm hoping.
It's overwhelmingly
courtroom's one. Courtroom's one.
One.
Which
I
one
don't
is
want
top?
I don't want number 2, but I just want everybody to get behind me and chant with me. Truck, 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 truck.
Before we actually start the video, you mentioned something. Sovereign is a word to be feared. I agree. Sovereign is a word to be feared because Sovereign was one of the really powerful Reapers in Mass Effect. I'll see myself.
Do you know what's
out.
weird? I was just thinking that as well.
No, you're right.
When I looked for sovereign gifts in Discord to make a joke, that's what came up, and I was like, I can't post that. No one will get the joke. But you did! Yay!
All right, audience, buzzers are useless. Stop doing that. Stop buzzing in when there's no video to buzz out. Otherwise, I'm gonna kick your ass out of the chat, Syrup. Just saying.
Yeah, they just want the show to end. Like, God damn it, they're still here. Yes, we are.
Right? You know what? From now on, if you buzz when there's no video, we're gonna assume you're buzzing for the end of the show.
Oh no! We're buzzing to put fish food in Kennedy's tank.
There, yeah, that's a good vote. That's a good vote. Hey, I hear the bubbles. Awesome. So what do you say then? Shall we let it rock a little, Boole?
Out of this
this courtroom.
I'm denying that because what you have said here shows
you
that
are
you
in
have
violation.
no understanding.
You are in violation of my rights.
Laws.
The oath that you took, you are in violation of. I am demanding my Sixth Amendment right to go pro se, and I would like this attorney out of this courtroom.
I understand your request, and I respect that you think that you understand this process. Clearly,
Do
by
not
your
respect
remarks,
me, Your Honor.
you do not understand, and I am duty bound to.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding right. He's wanting to exercise his Sixth Amendment right. What is the Sixth Amendment? I'm unclear.
Speedy trial, public trial. Oh, sorry, go on.
Let me read it. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy trial and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and the cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, and to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense.
Okay. So if I'm understanding correctly, in his kind of simple terms, like simple version of that, he wants a trial that is better, quote unquote, more fair to him.
I didn't get exactly what he was asking for.
Well,
like, what was the specifics of his Sixth Amendment that he wanted?
He said pro se, which is representing yourself, basically. He wants to
I gather
represent
the
himself.
main thing was he wanted the lawyer out, and
He wants the lawyer gone, which is stupid because if it's a public defender, you should just take him.
Kyle,
yeah, why would you not? It makes no sense at all.
I'm sorry, I'm not all that well versed in issues of law. Public defender is the lawyer given to you by the state.
Yes,
correct.
Right?
It's the defense lawyer from the state versus the prosecution, which would be the district attorney.
Right.
Okay. Zpostate's up.
Oh no, Boole totally beat me to it. That's exactly what he's asking for pro se, so he has a public defender there, and he wants the public defender to leave so that he can represent himself. Which, by the way, if you're ever in that position, folks, don't fucking do that. Don't do that thing that he's doing. That's dumb. That's really stupid. The public defender is a lawyer who is certified by the bar, so you should let him represent you. That is an idiot. Wow.
I know we talked earlier about how shitty job it was for the cop that had to deal with that, and how much generally we all hate defense attorneys because they're all scum and slime bags, but they're also lawyers. But so by this guy asking to kick his defense attorney, his assigned defense attorney, off, and the judge about to say, no, you can't do that, that defense attorney still has to defend him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Legally bound, yes.
Absolutely crazy stuff. Let's let this one roll. I can only imagine where this is going to go.
Make sure that you understand before I allow you to go
I
pro se.
perfectly understand. We established that the last time I was here.
Well, clearly your remarks today suggest otherwise.
According to you, not according to the law. We're talking about the law. We're talking about rights. We're not talking about what you think. We're talking about what is right, fully mine. And that's what we're talking about here today. And that's what you're supposed to be talking about here today.
Mr. Luke, you may proceed.
Thank you. Judge, I had read the information in file 17 CF 1013. The information is comprised of 2 counts of fraud against a financial institution. I'm going to read those elements, and I'll make the elections that are required that I think are that fit the proof that the state has. Number 1.
So I'm not meaning to sound rude, but the gentleman who's been convicted of fraud twice, or convicted of 2 counts of fraud against a legal institution, wants to represent himself as opposed to letting the slightly elder gentleman who's probably been doing this his entire life. And yet you've been caught and you look quite young. I really think you should rely on someone whose skills are obviously better than you and don't commit any more fraud. But why are these people to rely on other people's skills and just talk to him? What? Why? Yeah. Fucking people.
Wait,
if you
Barman, what you're missing is that those two people. Those two people there, each of them has a different job. One of their jobs is to defend people who've been committed of crime. The other person's job is to be committed of crime, and he's just trying to stick with what his job is.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, I love it.
Amazing stuff. You want to grab that, Amy?
Yes, please. That's why I buzzed. Godless Scummer for £5. He says, "Why do I get the feeling that somewhere there's a guy called Kyle who's watching this video and taking notes?" Thank you so much, Godless Scummer. It's awesome.
Kyle did go pro se.
I don't think he'd be taking notes. Go ahead, Bull.
I was just saying, Kyle did decide to go pro se with his defense, which is sadly lacking.
I was going to say, I don't think
makes
you can
no
take
sense.
notes on... Go ahead, Dick.
It makes no sense at all. I don't care how much distrust you have in the system and you're Mr. Sovereign Citizen and I'm my own man on the land and all that other fucking bullshit. You're in cuffs. You're in an orange suit, for God's sakes. Let the man who knows what he's doing fucking do his job, idiot. Holy shit,
He's trying
man.
to help you. Yeah. A dumb fuck who represents himself in court has an absolute idiot for a client.
Yeah, right? Oh, man. So bad. Anybody need in? It looks like it's playtime. What do you say, Bull? Let the stupid roll.
The defendant, Gregory Rael, obtained money owned by or under the custody or control of a financial institution. Financial institution means a bank or a credit union chartered under the laws of this state, another state or territory, or under the laws of the United States. Element number 2, the defendant, Gregory Rael, obtained by means of false pretenses or by use of any fraudulent scheme
Fucking lawyers trying
Look at poor low-budget Bernie Sanders there.
money or a monetary instrument.
Recorded this in portrait mode and stretched it
A person obtains money by means of false pretenses or by use of any fraudulent scheme when, with knowledge that it is false, and they act with intent to obtain money. And finally, it says if you're satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that both elements of this offense have been proved, you should find the defendant guilty. If you're not so satisfied, you must find the defendant not guilty.
And that those elements are the elements that apply to both counts 1 and 2 in that information?
Yes, those would be elements that would fit for counts 1 and 2. The defendant's charged as a party to the crime, but I don't know that that's particularly relevant. He was a principal actor in this with the state's evidence.
Does anybody have any guesses of why this guy is actually in court right now?
Probably running a pyramid scheme or something.
Well, so the charges are defrauding a financial institution?
It is, but specifically by using false documents. This asshat, I guarantee you, this asshat tried to open up a bank account or get a credit line based upon whatever false system he thinks is a sovereign citizen and a free man on the land or whatever with his fake documents, and that's how he opened up a bank account.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I bet he's passing bad paper or something, right? Like screwy checks or, falsely open the account and obtain credit, right?
You could falsely open an account, and as long as you maintain that account in good standing, like you always have money in it, you don't overdraw it, they're not going to even care for the most part.
No.
Right? But when you start writing hot checks or overdrawing and then they notice, hey, that person doesn't exist to even go after, but we have a record of them opening the account and here's the video of them doing it. Oh, wait, you're a fraud. All right.
Yep. Easy. That's a 1-2 punch. It's a given, right? There's no way around it. You willfully defrauded. You're beat. The only question right now is, could an actual lawyer get you a lighter sentence, moron?
Only if they can get you to stop talking.
Yeah. I think this will be a case of self-incrimination.
He's a public defender, Dick. He's a public defender, Dick, not a miracle worker. He's not God.
Well, let's let it roll a bit.
Like me.
Yeah. Let's let it roll a bit because I'm sure this is going to get more heated.
That he was a principal actor. Thank you. And then if you can read to Mr. Rael the information in the other file and then indicate the elements as the state intends to prove them.
All right. I object. I, John Woodford, Assistant District Attorney for Brown County, Wisconsin.
No, you do not understand.
Hereby inform the court that count 1. The above named defendant on or about Tuesday, October 10, 2017, in the city of Green Bay, Brown County, Wisconsin, did intentionally cause bodily harm to Dan Magnan, a law enforcement officer, without his consent, and at the time of the act, the defendant knew or should have known that Dan Magnan was a law enforcement officer, and the act was in response to any action taken by a law enforcement officer in an official capacity.
So this video is kind of hard to hear. Did I understand that correctly? He also assaulted a police officer?
That's
what it sounds like.
Yeah, a female police officer to boot.
Oh, lovely. This guy just keeps getting better.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would explain why he's handcuffed so much for a fraud charge.
I was wondering about that, yeah.
I was a little curious there too, yeah.
It's starting to make more sense now, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what that means? If he's the kind of guy to rage out on a female officer and cause a physical altercation, I can only imagine what's coming up when the judge starts saying something he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Contrary to section 940.203, parent 2, Wisconsin statutes, a class H felony, and upon conviction, the defendant may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 6 years or both. Count 2, the above named defendant on or about Tuesday, October 10, 2017, in the city of Green Bay, Brown County, Wisconsin, did knowingly resist an officer while such officer was doing an act in an official capacity and with lawful authority, to wit, arresting him. Contrary to section 946.41, parent 1, Wisconsin statutes, a class A misdemeanor, and upon conviction, the defendant may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 9 months or both. Count 3, the above named defendant, Gregory Rael, on or about Tuesday, October 10, 2017, in the city of Green Bay, Brown County, Wisconsin, having been charged with a felony and having been released from custody under Chapter 969 Wisconsin statutes, did intentionally fail to comply with the terms of his bond, contrary to section 946.49, parent 1, parent B, Wisconsin statutes, a class H felony, and upon conviction may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 6 years or both.
What's that one? He
That's
bail or
that's-
something?
Yeah, he skipped
violated
bail.
his
So,
condition.
Yep.
Sorry?
He either skipped bail or he was
He
already
violated
on
his-
parole.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assume
Or he
that
did
is-
something
yeah.
against the conditions of his bail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I struggle to understand legalese, so I appreciate the translations here.
Oh.
This video is not as fun as Law and Order makes it out to be on TV.
No, Judge Judy's fun than this. This guy needs
Oh
Judge
God,
Judy.
I've never watched Judge Judy.
Judge Judy's amazing.
I've
My
seen
hero.
clips, and it does look funny when she. Did you do this? She's like, well, well, you can do like. Yeah, you're gonna pay her the money back. It's like, oh, okay.
You know what? I can sum
No
up
shit
Judge
to give him.
Judy. I can sum up Judge Judy in like one sentence. There's a court case that lasted about 20 seconds because this girl had her purse stolen from her. She was describing things that were in the purse, and while describing the list, the defendant said, "There was no headphones in that purse." And Judge Judy just goes, "Judgment for the plaintiff. Case dismissed."
Ouch.
It was great.
So, action time?
Yeah, it's action. If you can identify the elements for each of those offenses.
I'm waiting for this kind of blow.
Well, I'm reading directly from 1240C, which is the pattern jury instruction for battery to a law enforcement officer. Element number 1, that the state must prove. The defendant caused bodily harm to, in this case, Dan Magnan. Cause means that the defendant's conduct was a substantial factor in producing bodily harm. Bodily harm means physical pain or injury, illness, or any impairment of physical condition. Element number 2, Dan Magnan was a law enforcement officer.
The record should reflect, has stood quietly, inappropriately during that time. He is accompanied by officers here today. Mr. Rail, have you heard the presentation that the state has made with respect to the information and to those elements?
I do not consent to the reading of those charges. The state's attorney, I would love the state's attorney to prove to me that he has legal authorization to even charge me with any crime. I've heard his gibberish, as you put it, and I would like to myself add for the record.
That's why you're in office.
I demand that all oral, verbal, written, signed contracts, law, etc., that I have entered into with this court, signed, spoken, be revoked, stricken from all records. I do not wish to enter any further any contracts, laws, statutes, rules, regulations, or codes, or
Yeah.
This ass
So
hat.
here's the thing. So I understand their argument, right? The idea is I'm not a citizen of the U.S. anymore. I'm part of my special club. Problem is your special club needs to be outside of your country because the laws apply within your country.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't
14th
just
Amendment.
claim a piece of land and just go, you know what? I'm removing this from the United States. I am my own deal. Like, fuck off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, furball's up.
I don't care where you claim you're from. If you like carved out your little parcel of land out in Kentucky and want to live out there with your sister and create little baby cousins for yourself, that's fine. But as soon as you cross that boundary, there is no requirement for you to sign a fucking contract and agree with the laws of the land you're standing on. That's not how the world works. Literally anywhere. If you are standing on someone's dirt, you are subject to their laws. Period.
The fact of the matter remains, he assaulted and injured a cop. And that is reason enough to put his ass in an orange suit and lock him up. And the fact that it was a woman cop makes it twice as bad. So I don't give a shit about all the other shit he's being charged with. He fucking hurt a cop. You're fucking done, you asshole.
Yeah, you earned it and you deserve it. Now, Zpostate's in.
Yeah, I just want I mumbled there for a bit, but yeah, again, back to the 14th Amendment, you are under the jurisdiction of the laws of your state. Like, that's in the Constitution. But I also want to just like bring back around our focus to this poor old man who's sitting next to him, who is a public defender, who has literally hundreds of cases a year, like more caseload than any other lawyer. I mean, these public defenders work their butts off. And let's just remember, there's no public defenders. There's no, I challenge you to find a lawyer out there who holds the same beliefs as any of these sovereign citizens, these people who actually have spent years and years learning the law and practicing the law, don't agree with these assholes. Who do you think is right? Yeah,
it's just to add on to that. So this public defender is probably at 9 o'clock when he's sitting down and eating his breakfast and sipping his coffee. He's looking over his list of people he has to start defending that day. And he gets to this asshat. And he's no different than any other asshats for that day. He says, okay, what did this guy do? Okay, he beat up a cop. Okay, I can figure out a way. Maybe he was wrong, but I'm going to make sure the cops did their job. Okay, he defrauded a bank. Okay, we can figure out something. He's a sovereign citizen. God damn it.
That's a linchpin, isn't it?
Oh, too funny, man. Too funny. If anybody gets bored with Jailbird, we do have one last one we can pull up too, where it starts. I think it's the one Barman wanted with the cop knocking on the window.
I don't even know if that actually happened. I'm just hoping.
That was the end of that video anyway. So.
Okay.
Hey.
Cool.
Did you get that last one? Boole, did you get that last one I PM'd over to you?
Let me double check here.
Yeah, okay. Because I wasn't sure I sent you that one, and it's just it just by the thumbnail it looked like the one we had to go to. Absolutely, holy.
I have it. I just need to pull it up here.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
Because I had a bunch of videos pulled that we didn't even get to that had nothing to do with sovereign citizenry. Like it was a bunch that Aimee had put up and all that stuff. So I think it's among them.
That's why I did that. The new rooms that we can categorize them in better. Might as well.
I thought that.
But yeah, it just has that look.
That's the first video we did. We didn't go through enough of it. Do you want to go back to it?
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, then. Okay. So it's just a thumbnail, the way it was doctored up. It made it look like it was a different video. We might as well do the idiot in the truck then and let him beak off for a minute before we sign ourselves out for the evening.
Wait.
Okay. That was my fuck up. What are you going to do?
That's all right.
I should have looked at the screen. I saw the spinning earth. That means I know the video's over. I mean, it's not like I haven't done this before.
I think that might be a compilation, and that actually might be further in that first video, though, because we only went like 10 minutes into it.
We'll never find
true.
It. Yeah, we'll never find it, though.
I skipped ahead through that video. There's a little bit more of that couple, those people, and then there's one more group of people after them.
Ooh. Everything stops working for me. Oh no, there we go. I hate it when he goes all quiet. Bull's thinking, can I get to that point? Can I find the man with the truck?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Well, like I'm leaving it to y'all, because like we've got this asshat in a truck.
Here we go. It's the Watchati running free guy.
Yes.
Yes. You want to watch this? This is funny.
He's my favorite.
Yeah. Sorry, I got my notes up again now. Yeah, this guy's a real piece of fucking work.
Watch me run and pee.
Awesome.
I love it, dude.
He looks like a cheesehead.
Oh, there he is. This fucking blowhard walrus fuck.
Shall we commence?
Let's do it.
He has no eyes.
Phone disconnected.
Hey YouTube, it's old Watachi again. This video is going to be on words. And the reason why I'm bringing up this word is I was watching well, let me go take a few steps back. Words are so important, people, that even the very first book in the Bible, it talks about how God created everything just by saying the words, let there be light. And there was light. Words are that important that they even wanted us to remember that with the first books in the Bible. The first book, Genesis, it talks about words and God's word, creating everything. So that ought to tell you that words are really...
No. I got to eat some cheese and run and pee.
This guy's hilarious. He's like the spokesman for throat cancer, for fuck's sakes, man. Barman's up.
So I had to have a quick Google, but I always had it in my head from doing religious education in school that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. God wasn't the Word. How can these people, if they're going to say things, then get it right? Because I'm sure there was an old story of ancient mythology. If you knew the word that created existence and said that word backwards, you would undo existence. And I know this shit, and I'm not even fucking a sovereign religious citizen crap. But how can the man who talks like this and looks like he should be singing jazz get so much fucking wrong? Fuck my life. If you're going to try and use shit, get it right.
I thought the world would undo itself if you knew the doctor's real name.
It's Sweetie.
Rumpelstiltskin.
The doctor's real name is Sweetie.
Frumpy foreskin? What?
Cool. This guy's awesome. Shall we let him go a bit?
Let's get back to Alex Jones' brother.
This guy makes Alex Jones look like Barack Obama. Come on, this guy's
important. And the reason why I keep bringing up these words is because, just like I in one video I put that if you're stopped, whether it's a checkpoint somewhere out west, a DUI, if it's on a job application, if it's a interview over the phone or wherever, somebody asks you if you're a U.S. citizen. Today, that means you're claiming to be a corporation owned by the Corporation of the United States of America.
No.
Drink.
Jesus Christ, yes.
That is definitely a bingo square, yeah.
You went
If you're
full
drinking, I
sauce.
want to say this right now. If you're drinking right now and you have a bottle of whiskey and a shot glass, take the shot glass and throw it against the fucking wall and upend the bottle. Just do it. Jesus Christ, this guy's rough.
That stuff is crap.
It's all very simple. You need to learn the difference between a corporation and incorporation. That is all.
Yes. Yeah. I got to cut in here, guys, but oi, fucking oi, Jutmonk. It's about time.
People. Oh, you know what, right?
Where the fuck is the monkey been?
Hi, right, I just want to pop in and say hi. I've been watching the show, but, you know, I've got to work. I do a circus, innit? You know, I've got to fucking juggle 12 balls, not them balls, you dirty fuckers. No, fuck that. No, I can juggle 12 knives, right? 6 in my, what you call hands, 6 in my, what you call feet. You see, us monkeys, I mean, we love to try and scratch our own balls with our own, what you lot call feet. It's a bit like when you male humans try to actually lick your own dick. Dawson, anyway, how's it going, bro?
Monk,
nice
before you
segue
bail,
there,
before you bail, buddy, give us a few words on sovereign citizens. We've had a couple of requests for rants tonight, so while you're here, you're not fucking getting away until you give us one.
Oh, mate. I mean, sovereign citizens. I mean, that's just they are the absolute bane of society. And the problem is, I can't even fucking shout because I'm going to get into trouble because of where I am. So you're going to actually get me into trouble. But the problem with these fucking stupid twats is they think they can do whatever the fuck they want, whenever the fuck they want, and they'll use any old bollocks as all amounts to being a fucking sovereign citizen piece of fucking toilet. Flush them down the fucking toilet.
Yeah. That's what we needed. Now somebody put him back in the fucking cage, all right?
I'll see you later there.
Take care, brother. I love you.
Ciao.
Monkey.
I fucking love you all, by the way. And all the guys watching too. Enjoy the show. I'm going to watch for a bit. And fucking then go and juggle some knives, not balls. Bye.
Later, Jud.
Bye.
Remember, even if it's a tail, more than 3 strokes and it's masturbating. All right. So let's let this fucking talking walrus keep. Oh, sorry. Let's let the talking walrus keep going here and tell us what he's got to fucking say.
I'm sure he's going to make a good voice on here soon.
A sub corporation, as I guess you could say. But you admit to this without even knowing you're admitting to it. That's just like when your parents signed your birth certificate. They were turning you into a corporation the second they signed that thing.
That's some magic right there.
That gave more power to the United States, the corporation of the United States, than they even have.
Pause.
They could.
My dad is my brother.
So, here's my problem with this guy. He wants to say words are so important. Well, there's some words you need to look into, because what you're describing, and being admitted into this thing without even realizing it, that's not legal. There's no law where you become part of a corporation at birth and you don't know it. That's just not a thing. What you're describing is like cyberpunk dystopias, which, while cool, are fictional.
I love it. I love it. I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching this, why is he sitting in some random parking lot in his truck? And then it hit me. That's right, because his wife is about to fucking divorce him. Right? I mean, it has
Like
to be.
CT.
Yeah, exactly. We got Furball up.
I want to see this guy get arrested for something and then have Riley as his defense attorney and see these two come up with the most massive story of bullshit that's so incoherent that they're both thrown in jail.
I think he'd look funny in an orange suit.
It's not
He'd look like a fucking. Put him in an orange suit, and he'd look like a fucking buoy in the harbor.
He'd look like a walrus being airlifted by a helicopter in one of those fucking things, being taken to the tank.
That would be funny. Take off the cuffs. I gotta go run and pee.
Oh man, Zpostate's in.
I have so much about this guy. He's one of my favorites. If anyone's familiar with my channel, I've done a couple videos on him, and he's just my favorite. I love this dude. I don't even know which way to go, but I'll start first. This is a guy. Everyone's been talking about how he breathes and speaks. This is a guy who has called or has warned people that people like him are going to rise up and start a revolution.
This guy couldn't go 20 feet without a fucking inhaler.
I am so scared.
Oh,
I'm so frightened from him.
Oh my God! You'd have time to clean your. You'd have time to sit on your porch and clean your gun as you watched him try to approach your house. Come on.
He's got to take time to light one cigarette off of the other, every once in a while. It takes a bit. Make sure that block the wind. So.
Saves on lighter fluid, all right?
It does.
This guy gets short of breath putting his car in drive.
Travel, putting the car in travel.
He puts it in T, not D. Remember.
Yeah. He puts it in D for fucking doorknob. Amy's been waiting. We better get her in.
He has no idea how to use the D. Trust me.
He can't see his D.
We have a super chat from our Mr. Victory for $2 American. He says, "This is what happens when Batman lets himself go." Thank you so much, Mr. Victory.
This is the retired This is the retired missing Batman from the Arrowverse. He's just off in a truck pulling flat Earth bullshit.
Can arrest me for traveling, officer. Where's Harvey Dent?
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna love me.
I'm Batman, I promise. The suit doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah.
I ate it.
Am I wearing the bat boots? I can't see them past the bat cut, I haven't seen the bat cock in years.
Where's the bat? Where's the bat bottle? I gotta pee.
No. All these years, everyone thought I was saying Batman. It's just my voice. It's actually, Fat Man.
Jesus Christ.
His voice actually genuinely reminds me of that College Humor series of the Bad Man. It was like it was the Batman, but he was an idiot. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If we keep picking on him, like this, Logical's going to give a shit. So we better run the video so we can attack the argument.
Before we do, I just want to say he reminds me, and Inquisitive Quandary apparently, it's Scruffy from Futurama. Just slightly younger.
I was thinking it was Dick Dastardly's dog, Muttley. That would be he could play that role.
There you go. Well, Jin Shu has a good one. He goes, I want to file a missing penis report, officer.
Well, Barman, in response to what you said, Scruffy gonna die the way he lived, free on the land.
Hey!
Free on the land. Free on the land.
Too funny. What do you say, Bull? Let's let this idiot talk a bit more.
Take your kids from you. So, anytime you contract with them, you're signing that you are under their rule. You're under their jurisdiction. When you got a marriage license, marriage is between you and God and whoever your partner is. Marriage isn't between the state and you.
Actually, it is.
But when you went and purchased a license to get married, because that's what the state tells you got to do, then you're admitting that you are a sub-corporation of the Corporation of the United States of America. So everything you do...
I gotta ask, is a sub-corporation one of his children?
I think so.
Yeah. I was just thinking. I'm a subcontractor now. How did that?
He said sub corporation, not sub creature. Get it straight.
This guy.
I can't wrap my head around like. There's like a basic philosophical argument being made here, which I feel like was something I got taught in high school, and I kind of settled with it. Socrates makes the argument at some point about whether or not you owe anything to the state, and it ends up, in my opinion, he ends up actually ignoring the whole. You give taxes, and the state in turn funds the infrastructure of the city you live in. But beyond that, if you don't like the laws of the country, then you have to leave. You can't just stay there and say, I'm not part of this anymore.
Yeah. If you're not part of it, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not hard to figure out.
Exactly. And just to make a point, marriage is a contract. So, yes, you have permission if you're under 18 to get married. So, yeah, the state does get involved in that. To make sure that you have it before and not dissolve the other one.
Yeah, and that's an argument stand-up comedians have been making, that marriage is an invention by the government, that love between two people doesn't really need a legal contract. That's an old joke that marriage is run by the government.
That's why I won't get married again, because I don't want the state involved in my love life.
Yeah, exactly. Furball's been waiting, guys.
I know I've said this a couple times before, but I just want to reiterate. He's talking about signing a contract, thereby agreeing that you are under their jurisdiction. Now you are under their jurisdiction. You are under their laws. You know what? If Kevin comes over to my house, one of the first thing that happens as he crosses through the doorway, he looks at me and says, would you like me to take off my shoes? Why? Because it's my fucking house and it's my fucking rules. And if I say yes, and he doesn't want to take off his shoes, guess what? He's not coming in my fucking house. But in my fucking house, he plays by my fucking rules.
Yeah, and not just because you have a gun, because it's the way it works.
There's two problems wrong with that statement. The first one is you're assuming the guy on the screen can read anything. Secondly, Kennedy's a head in the jar and doesn't have feet, so why would he have shoes on?
Too funny. Too funny. Let's let the idiot talk a bit more. What the hell, right?
Sure.
Do basically,
Alex Jones, kind of retarded.
in order to follow the laws, and you don't even do it knowingly. You don't even do this knowingly. You give up your rights as a human being when you claim to be a corporation. That's why, I'll get back to this. These guys were doing a First Amendment audit, and
fuck those assholes too. Pause.
Because they were.
Fuck First Amendment auditors. Those fucks who just go into like government buildings and just film secretaries at the desk like fucking weirdos. Fuck those guys. And second of all, you can't give up your rights without knowing you've given up your rights. Every part of every legal contract is the burden is on the contract writer to make sure the person signing knows what they're signing. So you can't give away your rights willingly. That's not how any law works. Or you can't give up your rights without knowing what you're doing, rather.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Zpostate's in.
Yeah, exactly what what Kevin just said. He's one of these people also who talk about how the capitalization of a name in a contract or a government document means that you're a corporation or whatever. He doesn't. There's clear history as to why that happens, and it's because when you're reading through a contract or a government document, you need to be able to spot your name in that document, and that's why they capitalize all the letters. It has nothing to do with you being a corporation or not, or maritime law, or blah blah blah. It has to do with the fact that you scan down that document and you can see your name in capital letters. That's why it's that way, is so that you know where you're being talked about. It has nothing to do with being a corporation. It's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's just the basic understanding of the law. Ugh.
The last employment contract that I signed, I had to initial every page to show that I had read it before I signed it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to do that with the whole agreement that I have here on this place, because it's a kind of an odd thing, but it was working out rather well for me, and everything had to be initialed as you go, the whole 9 yards, because then you are saying, I have read and understood this, and you can't go back later and say, no, all I did was sign it because I had to have it or whatever, right? It doesn't work that way. No.
Yeah, this guy clearly has never signed a mortgage, because you run out of ink in the pen.
Or bought a car.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. No kidding.
Well said. Amy's up.
Yes, please. I was just going to say, I have to sign a contract just to get services from Matthew. Rent a house, you have to have, like you said, a contract. I used to work with my husband in his mortgage business. Oh my gosh, you do run out of ink. We had to supply many pens for that. So yeah, I mean, just about everything you have to have a contract for.
Yeah. See how much ink you use getting insurance on like a classic car these days. Holy, right? It's freaking crazy, man.
It's
another thing. Another thing that assholes like this never take into consideration is the fact that the contract is not just there as a rule for you to follow, but it's also there to protect you against what the contract writer might do wrong.
Yeah, it's the stipulations of both parties. It's not just what you have to live up to. It's what the other party has to live up to as well. And if there's any violations of that contract, it can easily be made null and void. But apparently signing a birth certificate with no information on the back of what you're signing makes you a corporation.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit more from the moron then?
Sure.
Yeah. Dum.
The cops were asking for ID and the whole shebang. If you've ever watched one, and they denied giving ID without the cop having reasonable suspicion of a crime that's been committed, about to be committed, or has been committed. Most of the time when they're messing with these
asking for idea if he didn't have that
First Amendment auditors, they're trying to lie. Well, most of the time whenever you deal with a cop, he's going to lie to you, try to get you to give up your rights without you even knowing it. They have rules to follow, And if you don't hold them to the rules, they're going to cheat. And they're going to cheat hard because they're allowed to lie.
But they don't have to live by
But-
the rules that you make up.
That's just it. You have to know the actual rules before you can talk this shit, you fucking moron. Because you don't know what the hell's coming out of that fucking shit flap you call a mouth. Fucking idiot.
No kidding. I haven't heard from Logical yet. I know he loves this guy. What do you got to say, Logical?
I think he had to split for a bit there. Something came up. You called the wrong person. Yeah.
Cool,
He had a
man.
little personal emergency go down. Nothing big or anything. Just one of those
I'm
deals that comes
just
up in life.
surprised. I know he loves this guy, so I was surprised I haven't heard
He
from
would have
him
been ripping him in half right now. It's too bad we didn't do this when he was
kidding.
still with him. Because, everything that flows out of that little hole under that fucking furry worm he's got under his nose is pure, unadulterated bullshit. I think he has to stick his fucking hand up his ass to move his mouth so that he can actually say this fucking garbage. He's basically his own fucking anal puppet. BM Furball's up.
This guy just makes me so frustrated. So his thing about giving up your rights and the cops having to play by rules and not identifying yourself. Many states nowadays do have a law that requires you to identify yourself to a law enforcement official. That doesn't mean they can detain you. That doesn't mean they can stop you, prevent you from traveling farther down the road as you're walking down the street. But if a cop walks up to you and asks you who you are required to tell them who you are. Now, beyond, if they have no grounds, there's no crime going on, walking down the street and say, hey man, what's your name? You are legally required to tell them who you are. Now, if there is no crime in process, they can't keep you any farther. And 99% of the time, they're not going to. Unless you're a dick and refuse to identify yourself. And in most of those states that have those laws, you can be arrested for not identifying yourself.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's there's a thing, up here. It's if an officer of the court of the law asks you to provide an identification, you do it, or you have 15 minutes to be able to somehow prove who you are, or you could be in custody until you do. That's just the way it works, man.
And that's not saying give up your rights. That's not saying when the cop comes up and says, hey man, who are you? I'd like to pat you down. I'd like to search through your pockets. I'd like to go through your car. I'm not saying tell them they can do that. They need probable cause to do that. They don't need probable cause to force you to identify yourself. And people have tried to argue that, okay, I have an arrest warrant. If I tell him who I am, that's admitting to a crime and he's going to arrest me. And I can't be forced to admit to a crime. No, you still have to tell the cop who you are. Hold them to the standard, but don't make up your own goddamn standard.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's the same as the First Amendment thing where you have a freedom of speech, but you can't yell. I mean, it's a convoluted thing. Yelling fire in a theater or whatever. There are certain limits to the basic rights that you have. Yeah, there's a Fourth Amendment right to have search or seizure, but there's also, like you said, probable cause. Like if they have probable cause, and there's plenty of laws, again, like you said, where you do have to give at least your identification if you're driving a car, your insurance and your registration, and those amendments the Supreme Court has decided don't protect you against that sort of stuff. So it's just something you have to deal with. I'm sorry.
And there have been times that the cops have tried to push it farther. There was a case just several years ago where somebody got pulled over for a speeding violation. The cop wanted to run a drug dog around the car. Well, the cop issued the citation for the speeding violation and then wouldn't let the person leave because the drug dog hadn't got there. They kept them there. The drug dog walked around the car, sat, found the drugs. Well, you know what? Technically, that was not legal. Because as soon as you had stopped them, or you had completed the reason for your stop, you didn't have a reason to keep them any longer. Just because your drug dog hadn't got there didn't mean you could keep them any farther. Yeah, you're wrong for having drugs, but the cop was still wrong for keeping them there.
Yeah, absolutely. Dead Kennedy's in.
Just like a really basic example of the whole probable cause thing. When I was a lot younger, me and some friends were leaving a rock show at a bar, and we're leaving a bar, so there's that factor to consider. And me and my friends were giving the driver really conflicting information on where to go, and as a result of that, he flicked on his signal, flicked off his signal, went a little bit further, flicked on the other signal, and turned, and a cop pulled us over. And nothing happened. We weren't really doing anything wrong, and he wasn't drunk, but that was the cop's reason for pulling us over, because erratic behavior in a car is an indication that you've been drinking. And my friend could not understand this for the life of him. He was so angry that he got pulled over, and I'm like, dude, it was just that you did something that looked like something a drunk would do. Just don't be a dick, and we'll be out of here in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it's just not that big a deal. So you get pulled over, guy checks. Oh, okay, yeah, you're cool. Right on. Thanks. Okay, have a good day. Yeah, bye. Now just fucking calm down and relax. It's no big deal. People get so like road rage incidents. Somebody cuts you off or whatever. It's not like they actually meant to be a dick most of the time. It's just that, shit happens. There's no need to rage out. People gotta chill. Just gotta chill.
Yep.
But that's just me. Let's let the walrus go. What do you think, everybody?
He's not the walrus. He is the Eggman.
Oh yeah. Well, I could be the walrus. I'd still have to bum rides off people.
Yeah. Yeah, Ferris.
Oh wait, you know what it is? Riley's the Eggman. He is the walrus.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Hey.
Too funny. Well, let's pull the trigger on a bit more walrus there.
They were these cops because they knew these two guys that kind of knew their rights and knew the laws because they was rattling them off to them. They looked at them and said, "What, are you guys sovereign citizens?" And these guys immediately, "Oh, no, we're not sovereign citizens. No. Those guys don't believe in laws. We hold everybody to the law." That was the words that came out of their mouth. They hold everybody to the law. Now, see, this just goes to prove that these guys really don't even know what they're talking about. Because, first and foremost, the Constitution protected your sovereignty. The sovereignty, you as a sovereign citizen, and all your rights as a sovereign citizen, right along with the Constitution, also protects the sovereign states. Every state was a sovereign state. They governed themselves. And people, if you don't believe me, look up the word sovereign. And it'll tell you right in there.
Fucking idiot.
That states have been known to be sovereign.
Sovereign, a noun, a supreme ruler, especially a monarch. Is also a former British gold coin worth worth £1 sterling. As an adjective, it is something possessing supreme or ultimate power. What's your point, dude?
Yeah. I mean, what? But he said sovereign. So is that like when you burn yourself with tomato sauce because you're a fucking pig and you can't eat without splashing it everywhere? I don't know. Fuck. This guy's such an idiot. Look at that look on his face. Look at that look right now, and tell me that's not the look of a man holding back from shitting his pants. Right there.
I gotta hurry up and finish this video. I gotta run and pee.
Oh,
I gotta go.
What was I was looking at it thinking, what is Dick gonna say? I mean, he does look like he's gonna shit himself. I'm just taking this swig of a beer, and you come out and say it. I'm like, for fuck's sake, that's just coming out my nose.
Well, if it wasn't for the position of his shoulders and arms, I would say, that was the moment his fist went right up his own anus. Except I can tell they're not really there, so I had to go somewhere else, right? What are you gonna do?
You don't know what else he's sitting on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. God damn, man, where is that football? Fuck.
This is such an example.
I gotta go end this video, but I also gotta take a shit. I don't know what I'm gonna do though, but there's no toilet paper left in the world.
Oh.
Who was that? Who just came in with the example remark there? Was that Zpostate?
This is just such an example of a person who's read, maybe 4 or 5 of the first 10 amendments of the American Constitution, and then disregarded the rest of the 20-something other ones that are there, and all of the articles 1, 2, and 3 that dictate what Congress and the executive and the judicial does, and just writes that all off and says, well, I have Amendment 1 and 2. I can keep guns and say whatever the fuck I want. And that's all they fucking care about. It's the most amazing stupidity.
That's not what the YouTube amendment tells me. The YouTube amendment says I can keep as many guns as I want.
I watched a video from a guy and he told me that I didn't have to listen, so fuck you, sir. Wait, what are these handcuffs? Where do you think you're taking me? Ah, shit, I'm gonna have to get my car out of impound again.
Also,
fuck.
the world is flat.
What was it? What was it? Is it? What was? Am I being detained? That's what. Am I being detained?
Yeah, that's it.
I really want to see this.
Oh my
guy
God.
going, am I being detained, officer? Am I being detained?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
So should we roll this for a little bit more, because I do want to see if he actually has to lift his ass off the seat for the rest of the video because he doesn't want to swim in his own shit.
I think you just like torturing us, Dick, but yeah, we'll go ahead.
Yeah, well, so Tattie's not here. I'm playing the role.
Sovereign because they are self-governing. Sorry, that's the truth. Yeah, Obama made it out to be, if you claim that you're a sovereign citizen of the Republic of the United States of America, you're considered a terrorist. You're put on a terrorist watch list. They claim you're a terrorist because you claim to be a sovereign citizen. A citizen who feels that they can govern themselves.
He's really pinching hard,
Now,
man.
that don't mean there ain't no laws, people. Because to be that sovereign citizen and you're using the Constitution in the first place, that makes that binds the hands to keep the government from taking your rights. And then as soon as somebody asks you if you're a sovereign citizen, these two boys, oh, no. No, they don't believe in laws. They don't even know what they're talking about. But that's what I'm talking about. The damn word. The word sovereign used to mean something. It mean you didn't need another man to tell you what to do. You know the difference between right and wrong.
No.
If you did something and it tore up somebody's property, you paid to fix it. If
Did this moron never see Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? what he's describing is not sovereignty, it's independence.
Yeah, independence.
Like that's all it is. He's not. The word sovereign used to mean something. It used to mean whatever the hell I think.
Yeah. Let's go be independent together. Yeah.
Be a dentist.
Oh man. I can tell you right now, the first thing he's going to hear when he walks in the door is going to be his wife saying, "Did you take my fucking dildo again?" God damn, this guy is a buttload of stupid. Holy God. It's like diarrhea of the fucking mouth.
You see why he's my favorite.
I'm praying.
Oh
that
yeah,
just so much.
I'm actually praying that the live audience. It's been getting worse. The live we had 4 of 10. We almost had this thing voted off, and then 2 dropped, so we only have 2 of 8 at this point.
Oh, well, I had screwed up and told a few people in the chat that because it's the last video, we were just going to let it rung no gongs anymore. So that's probably a few people that dropped out. But I figured last one we're just... guy. Yeah. I figured, we'd just let him finish, right? Or we would finish on him, or however that works. The memes with the I'm about to take a shit picture. Barman already did one. I'm reading this out. I don't care. He put a caption under it. I was fucking my sister, and she says, "Wow, you fuck like dad." And I was like, "That's what your mama said."
Oh God.
Fuck.
I apologize for nothing.
I know, neither would I. That's why I read it. I was just making sure that got on the air and on the record. Oh, okay. Well, let's let this motherfucker spew a little bit more, and then we'll do a wrap up and shit on him. We've been going pretty good.
If you did something to hurt somebody, you paid to get them well, and you paid if it cost them a leg or an arm or it killed them, you paid for it. Whether it's monetarily or you get locked up or whatever, then you're dealing with it. Now, I don't need a government. The only thing I really even care to have a government for is to make sure that they're watching all of our borders and protecting us on the inside of this country.
We got Furball up.
He just said, I don't need a government. But 2 sentences before that said that if you made them lose their arm or their leg, you'd pay them by money or by going to jail. How the fuck can you go to jail without a government?
This guy doesn't know if he's coming or going. I swear to God, he's the kind of guy that walks into the kitchen to make coffee and ends up jerking off standing in front of the fridge thinking he's watching Pornhub. Fuck, he has no idea what he's doing.
My thing is, yeah, you may not need a government, dude, but we need a government to protect ourselves from people like fucking you, brother. That's what that is.
I'll tell you what, folks. I don't really have the energy to build a great wall and keep the Mongols out. I'll let the government do it.
Goddamn Mongolian! I tried to take on my shitty walk.
Yeah, welcome to City Walk. Take an order, please.
God. Would you like a shitty chicken? Or a shitty pork?
Yeah, shitty beef.
Shitty beef?
Goddamn Mongolian.
And every time I Bill wanted come knock down. That was so funny, man.
Mongolian heat-seeking missile.
Yeah.
I want to go to China so bad and stand on the wall just so I could scream that at the top of my lungs.
That would be amazing. Oh, God. Well, this guy's nothing if not funny. I mean, he is funny, right? He's painfully stupid. Can you imagine what it would be like to be in line at the grocery store with this fucking guy? He would turn around to you and say, "Oh yeah, you see that money? That's actually owned by a private corporation that's trying to enslave you, so you don't know that the earth is really flat." Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to pay for my goddamn yogurt. You stupid fuck! Shut up!
This is the guy that would stand in line with a stack of fucking coupons from other businesses and try to argue why they're legally bound to honor them. Sir, we don't sell Whoppers here. This is McDonald's. Yeah, but you need to take this for your Big Macs. I want a Big Mac, and I want it 50% off.
Yeah. What was that Marvel movie? The guy goes into Baskin Robbins. I'll just take a burger. No, idiot. You won't. I mean,
Here, take this money. It's from my sovereign state. Well, it looks like it's drawn like crayon.
Yeah.
It's legal tender. Trust me.
Too funny.
That's right.
So what do you guys think here? I think the show's been about long as we should run. Is that a consensus, or does everybody want to keep going? I mean, I don't give a fuck either way, right? What do you guys think?
Let's put it to
How
the
much is left with
audience.
Alex Jones here?
Discount Alex Jones here.
Well, let's get the viewers' consensus here. We guys want some more of this fucking idiot, or are we done for the night? You guys tell us. We'll just, talk amongst ourselves and wait for the decision. Fuck, I don't know what to say there. Let's go back to Walrus Boy here. Let's see. The sunglasses. It's not like he's hiding who he is with that voice and that, I don't know which chin, the one on the right or the one on the left or the one in the front or the one in the back. But anybody who knows this guy is going to know who he is.
Looks like the crowd wants more.
Keep it going. It's
more?
funny. Go more.
Oh, yeah. Everybody
More.
wants more pain. More pain.
All
Let
right.
Marissa boy finish, please.
Oh,
at least.
Cheesemondo has a great idea. Play it faster.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. I wonder what a walrus sounds at 2 times speed.
We can go up to
All right.
400%. So
Let's give it a little Booleanenator touch there, buddy. Let's give it and see what this fucking idiot sounds like when he's talking through a helium balloon.
I'll do a compromise, 175. There we go.
Yeah, as long as he's just legible. It's just, or you know what I mean. As long as we can make it out.
Country. On the inside of the republic. Protect the people that are in it and the republic itself. That's the only thing they need to be doing. We don't need their noses in our religion. We don't need them in our schools. We don't need them in our government. We don't need somebody who's living in Washington, D.C. telling us what to do in Pennsylvania or in Ohio or in Indiana or Tennessee or Florida or anywhere else. Let those people govern themselves. That's the way it's supposed to be, people. But no, hell, today we're scared to even say sovereign. You're scared to even say that you live in a sovereign country. Which all that means is that you guys govern yourselves. You don't need no foreign entities coming in to govern you because you're governing yourself. That's what sovereign means. Don't you people get this? You're letting them change. They sent us to school for 12 years to learn a language called English. They taught us how to spell these words, the definitions of these words, how to find them if we don't know what word that word is, how to look it up, find the definition to it, and what it means. They teach us how to do this, and then when we get out of school, they change it on us. Just like your federal tax law. You cannot read it and understand it without the Internal Revenue Code book. You cannot do it because you need the definition of every word used in it. Because they've changed it. They've changed the definition of every word. That's how they get you in these contracts. You people don't even understand. You don't understand how they're doing it. So there's no way for you to believe they're doing it. They're doing it right in front of your face. Just like these chemtrails. They're doing it right in front of your face. They're spraying it right in front of you. They're spraying it right over you, and you don't care. You think it's condensation coming out the back of a plane that hangs around for weeks and months at a time.
Pause.
Fuck. Oh, fuck, man.
Oh, that's like old retired Donald Drunk all fucking, or Donald Duck all drunk and angry screaming at people. I'm not doing another one of these fucking cartoons. You're not going to make me. Fuck you.
I want we need some art of that. Like, I don't know, like Alex Jones as one of the like chipmunks from Alvin and the Chipmunks or something. There's something there.
Yeah. That's probably Chip and Dale's old man. He's just a cranky son of a bitch, right? That's the shit you don't see on camera.
The last time I laughed this hard was when we 2 times Orphan Red. I'm not sure which I like better.
This guy was amazing. It sounded awesome.
At some point, his head is going to explode at that speed.
Oh, God.
As far as
sorry.
I am the honor of my own feet said.
Sorry, Furball. I just noticed your buzzer there. Sorry, dude. So late there.
Oh, no, that's what I had to say. It's like, I don't know seriously, Orphan Red, I want to like a back and forth, like they're having a conversation. This asshole and Orphan Red both at 2 times speed.
That would be awesome.
That would be fucking hilarious. Oh, I don't know if I could stand that.
That would be the argument of stupid for the ages.
Mr. Victory said that fat bastard on Red Bull.
Well, let's let a little bit more of that run. That's just too funny.
Hello, people, come on. You guys have got to be smarter than this. You got to be smarter than this, people. Sovereign, being sovereign is a good thing. But like Jesus said, he told them, give unto Caesar what is Caesar, give unto God what is God's. Well, that means if you're living under the Federal Reserve note, the money you have in your pocket, I don't know about the coinage. I'm going to look into this stuff on the coinage, because that's not printed, that's a different type of money. The coinage might be the only real money in this entire country. Because the bills ain't nothing but a promissory note, the federal note, that's what they are. How you. And they can print them up as many as they want. With whatever value they want. They don't have a dime back.
Your dick again.
Nothing. That goes against the Constitution right there. And the people have sat here and allowed it to happen to you, and it's still happening today. I don't know. You better start learning, people. Words mean everything. If you've got something, this is why, if you're going to be signing something legal, they get you to go to a damn lawyer. Because the lawyer's going to ask the question, where's the code, where's the definitions for these words? Because if they're not in it, spelling everything out at the time, then they're trying to hide something. You don't have to be a lawyer to go to school. No, you're being screwed by this government. I'm sorry, you don't have to be a 12-year law student to know that. But you guys just go ahead, keep making bad people out of good people. You know, people claim to be sovereign. They don't know how it works. They really don't, because you can't be sovereign again. You just got to give up the way you live in this country. You're going to be sovereign, you can't play the game. You can't go to a job that's going to pay you with Federal Reserve notes. That's not being sovereign. You can't drive around in a car that's titled, that holds a title on it, because you're playing the game, just like give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Well, the way you're playing this game in this country, you're under their thumb. You have to walk away from this entire game, people. You have to walk away from your house. That's a part of their game. Your cars are a part of their game. You got to walk away from all that to get your rights back. And you ain't willing to do that by any means. So thank you.
Oh, stop.
Okay. Everybody have a turn picking on this stupid fucker. I don't know if it came through.
My ribs.
Yeah. I don't know if it came through there, but I had a good one when he was talking. But it sounds like Donald Duck in The Office talking to Mickey Mouse. I'm not sucking your dick again. I don't give a fuck how much of this empire you own. I am not going down on you, you fucking mouse.
Oh God! Yeah, I definitely rebroke my ribs.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
That is too funny. This guy is unbelievable.
That never stopped being funny. Like, there was a point where I thought it was going to stop being funny, and then suddenly there came like a musical quality to it. Like I started hearing the intonations like they were a song, and I started doubled over laughing again.
I'm having a hard clicking so that the comments show up.
Everybody's just in useless mode now.
I can't do it.
I need to catch my breath, man.
Yeah. Oh my God! This is the gift that keeps on giving, man.
All I have to say about it
like
is there's 12 seconds left, and it's time for some ludicrous speed. So here we go.
Hey!
There it was.
That was Spaceballs, ludicrous speed, courtesy of Booleanenator.
I want to know that if it ended with "Go with God."
No, it probably ended with "I'm not being detained." Oh man! Now, if she can catch her breath to actually speak, we've got Aimee up.
Yes, I can wait after this because I can hardly see. Mr. Victory for $2 American. He says it sounds like he had a Red Bull enema.
That's what was up his ass. It was a can of Red Bull, and he popped the top without even using his hands. Holy shit!
Thank you so much for your support, Mr. Victory.
He's the anal Red Bull raider. Holy shit, man! I had no idea.
He's a butt chugger.
Oh my God. Okay, well let's do wrap ups on this fucking idiot and sovereign citizens in general here. Let's get around the table and see who's got what. Let's start with Kevin Kennedy. You're up, buddy.
If you live in the United States, abide by the laws of the United States. If you don't want to, leave. That's all there is to it.
And if you're a sovereign citizen and you're going to leave the States, I just want you to know right now that Canada is closed for renovations. Okay? So just move on.
Aw.
Indefinitely.
Yeah. How about Sarcastic Barman, buddy? What do you got for us?
Oh, these sovereign citizens are just a fucking joke. Just fuck off. That is all. They don't even deserve a fucking send-off. Fuck off.
Well said. Well said, buddy. Steaming Cup of Reason. Lay it on us, pal.
If you want to be a sovereign citizen, I suggest you do the pirate radio thing. Get a rickety old boat and take it out into international waters. Go fuck yourselves. If you think you're a sovereign citizen and you got the right to fucking ignore all the rules, the only thing I got to say to you is no.
Not wrong. Well said, buddy. Love it. Absolutely. What about Boole running the show for us? Thoughts and wrap-ups, brother?
Well, I can honestly say I think we learned more when he was going faster. Like, I think that's more intelligent speech than his actual speech. So I'm glad we do that. But at the same time, sovereign citizen it's kind of like the worst of the worst, because it's usually not just a sovereign citizen. It's usually some kind of conspiracy theorist thrown in there, or flat earther. It's the culmination of all the bad, and that's what really gets to me about these fuckers.
Yeah. Well said, man. Well said. And let's see. We got to get to Aimee Hogan. Thoughts and wrap-ups on the evening.
Oh my gosh, I almost got broken, but I'm okay now. Came close. It's pretty sad when just a layperson can, Matt said it. When a layperson knows more than what these people know, to say, no, you're wrong, dude. Well, it's like the whole thing with Matthew and the help that we need. If it's the system's not going right, I'm going to go the channels that I'm supposed to fix it. You know what I mean? Lobby to get the laws changed, get help doing that. These people, they just, okay, well, I'm better than everybody else. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, no, they're wrong. They just know. They can leave and, like you said, go out in the middle of the ocean. No one wants you.
Exactly. Pull the drain plug on that boat and give yourself 15 minutes to say goodbye. That'd be fine. From myself, before we turn to our guests, I want to say this. If you're Mr. Sovereign Citizen and you approach me on the street and pull your bullshit, I'm only going to say this once. You stupid fuck. You don't want to play by the laws and rules? That means I can kick the fucking shit out of you whenever I want, you dumb fuck. Think about that. Right? So let's go to somebody who knows how to deal with criminals. BM Furball, thoughts and wrap-ups on the evening, brother.
I just want to bring this back to that original cop that we saw in that first video. He handled this so well. Pretend like it's not even happening. Just go about what you have to do. Pretend like they're not being idiots. And don't give it the attention that they're trying to get. That's the only way to deal with it. Because if you give them the attention, you're going to be there for an hour arguing with stupidity.
Yep. Absolutely, man. You said it. That is well said. And Zpostate, thoughts and wrap-ups on the evening, my friend.
Hey, yeah. Dude, hey, everyone. If you live in a republic or a democracy, know your rights. Know what laws and rights apply to you. But don't take it past where it does apply to you. And if you don't like it, then fucking vote. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Well said, man. Well said. And let's throw something out here before we wrap up, people. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're living in a country, state, whatever, city, and you think something isn't quite right and you want to enact change, please, for the love of all of reality, do it properly. Find the channels, organize a protest, go and do like a, march and get your signs out and stuff. Don't just fucking steal cars and drive them without licenses with your children and whatnot, or you're going to end up on the show and we're going to make sure everybody knows what a fucking idiot you are. Done.
Hell yes.
Done.
Nice.
On that note, everybody, it's been the iNetwork Silly Shills Show with us, the Shills. We had a great evening tonight with Zpostate and BM Furball. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us, guys.